Are we live?
We're live. Let's
Okay,
rock.
good, good. Ladies and gentlemen, what's good, y'all? It's the Chillmeister Chris Gary and Jay Wolf, and we welcome you to a very special edition of Focus Fights Audio. Excuse me while I try and get my shit in order, but still, though, point of the matter. I'm the Chillmeister, Chris Gary. That's Jay Wolf. And before I get started talking about Ryzen Otoko Matsuri, I'd just like to apologize to the folks that were really hoping that the Ryzen 50 review would have been put on the podcast platforms of choice. I mean, let's just say I'm a bit of a lazy bastard, and I basically try and screw up half the time. I did not get the episode out in the orderly fashion as it was put on YouTube for live viewing. I was supposed to be putting the episode in podcast form. So, my apologies to anybody who were hoping that the podcast will be put out on a regular platform, on your podcast platform of choice. And hopefully, I'll try and do better as the proprietor of this podcast and pretty much one of the brains of the operation at Focus Fights. I really hope that we can do more, trying to get these podcasts up. I mean, basically it's my bad. Hopefully I'll get this done
But it
down.
was on YouTube. It,
Yeah,
it was on YouTube.
so you can go back and check that out. But still,
Yes.
point of the matter is, we're not here to talk about the past. We're here to basically focus on the future, so to speak. And that future is very much
It's
near.
now. The future is now. With the Toko Matsuri, the men's festival, the Epic Ryzen Men's Festival. I'm keeping the manly winter beard still to contribute to this men's festival that we got going on here at Ryzen. I cannot wait. And it's on Ryzen.tv. Don't be a broke ass. Go order it. It comes with full replay. It's only $20. Go to Ryzen.tv and get this. We got 20 fights coming up here and over
Well,
15.
no, on the contrary, we had 20 fights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
there was.
supposed to have been 20 fights, but we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. And that reason why is the fact that one of the fighters got injured. But still, though, point of the matter is, like you said, we got a stacked card from top to bottom, all taking place from the world famous Tokyo Dome. I mean, if you know those January 4th cards for New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you've been with Rising for the last few years, you know that they did an event almost 4 years ago during the height of COVID, no less. Or really, it was during the height of COVID over in Japan, but it was when everybody else over here was just starting to get out and enjoy things. They still had the courage to do an event that was 10,000 deep. Let's just be real. It wasn't the 60,000 seat banger that it would have been, but now you got damn near 50, maybe 60,000 people getting ready to see this event. You got a main event that everybody's going to be talking about. You got a co-main event that everybody's going to look forward to. And you got a bunch of stat fights in between, including the start of the Rising Heavyweight Grand Prix. Jay Wolf, before we get off to this card, what are your overall thoughts about it?
Oh, I absolutely love it. When the Epic Ryzen is doing a massive event like this, Jay Chris, for you, we love it to say it. Whenever the Epic Ryzen does a big event at the Tokyo Dome, whenever you have the Epic Ryzen lads are in town, it's banger after
Absolutely.
banger after banger after banger. It's just bangers galore on this card, brother. It's gonna be so much freaking fun. Like you said, the start of the heavyweight Grand Prix. We got and they even had a special poster for the heavyweight Grand Prix. It's with dinosaurs and everything. It's fantastic. And then, like you said, the main event is probably one of the most skilled of bouts they put on, in Rising's history for high levelness. I mean, it's incredible. And then the co-main event it's a true people's main event because that one probably sold the most tickets with the superstar Makura Asakura in there. That's probably what filled up the majority of the Tokyo Dome. It's because Mikuru Asakura, that's Kai Asakura's brother, who is the bigger star than Kai Asakura is. So it just, man, it's going to be massive. Like you said, there's already this. Has it reached 50,000 tickets already sold? I know it was 40,000.
I mean, I don't think it has. Like you said, it might be 40,000. It might have been 40,000 past, but it's only a few days out before the event. It is May 1st now, as of the time of this being recorded. We only got next to 48 hours before the event takes place, so hopefully they will reach that 50,000 person threshold.
And if they do, then it'll match what the match was. Remember? The match with Takara versus Tenshin, that sold 50,000 at the Tokyo Dome, scored a massive amount of pay-per-view buys. And, Sakakibara-san, the CEO of Epic Horizon, he originally was going to call this event the Match 2 until Ren Hiramoto got injured. Yeah. So
either way, like the match, at least this will be widely distributed worldwide.
Yes, absolutely. That's key. That's what I was saying. Everybody go to Ryzen.tv, order. It's available right now, and it's only $20. And it comes with full replay. It's gonna be freaking awesome. So just go. Don't be a broke ass. Go get it. And don't be coming asking for free links in the Epic Ryzen Discord. We won't give you none. We'll give you the boot.
And if you don't basically watch the full event, at least watch the prelims that'll take place at around, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. That'll be on
I think it starts at the prelims bouts. I saw a tweet that or an X post today that they put out saying that the start time for the first bout was at 7:45 Pacific. It was 11:45 Japanese Standard Time, which is 7:45 Pacific. So, and then the main card starts at 1300 Japanese time, which is 1 p.m. Japanese time, which is 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that will be 12 Eastern, 11 Central.
Right. And the prelims will start at around 9:45. I don't know if I'm going to be a little too focused on. I probably will be focused because nobody's going to watch that UFC card in Des Moines. Nobody's really going to pay much attention to Canelo versus William Skrull because if they can't, they can always watch the event back the next day on Turkey Al Sheik's YouTube channel.
Yeah, but those are happening earlier, right? And they'll just be finishing up by the time the Epic Horizon starts.
Well, on the contrary, the main event for Skrull versus Canelo will probably start around the same time. But still, nobody's going to devote all their attention to it unless they are a massive boxing fan.
Yeah. For the mixed martial arts, though, I think that the mixed martial arts card will be finishing up. The UFC card will be finishing up.
Yeah, of course. But still, though, enough about all that. We got 19 fights on the card, 16 of them on the main card, and ironically enough, we got them all in packs in some cases, and in particular, the final 4 fights on the card all take place in the featherweight division. Of course, I'm talking about the championship fight, Kleber Koike Herbst versus Ratsabali Shadulev. You got the co-main event, Mikuru Asakura versus Chihiro Suzuki. And then you got the 2 fights taking place before that, Ryo Takagi versus Kiyoma Akimoto and Kyohei Hakiwara, fresh off a controversial first-round knockout against Taisei Nishitani. Now, let's go.
Isn't it interesting that they put the Ryzen Prince Akimoto, it's Shinryu that's in the third spot, right? The third bout spot, right below the co-main. Oh man, let me get the graphic up.
I'm looking at
the bout order.
I'm looking at the bout order right now, and the final 4 fights on this card are all in the featherweight division.
Okay, so who's the third one again? Is it Shinryu or no? It is Akimoto, right?
The co-main event is Asakura Suzuki. The cheap support bouts are Takagi versus Akimoto and Hakiwara versus Nishitani.
Okay, so it is Ryzen Prince Akimoto that's in the third, right below right before Mikuru Asakura, the people's main event, is going to be Ryzen Prince Akimoto. That's interesting. They put him so high on the card right there. That's really interesting.
But
I would think that they would put maybe like Saku Jr. or somebody there. And then right below them, they got Hagiwara, which is another big name star who was angling for the Mikuru fight, which probably will, if he wins, then they'll probably set up the Mikuru fight with him later on down the road. And that's what I would guess, but we'll see. But hey, how do you want to start this preview? You want to go from the top fights down to the prelim fights, or start the prelims and go up?
Top fights down. If there's any interest in talking about a show like this, we got to start with the main event and the co-main.
Okay, let's do it.
And in this case, in the main event, Kleber Koike Earps will defend his title for the first time in his second reign against probably his hungriest challenger to date, that being Razabali Shadullayev. First of all, the particulars for the challenger. Razabali Shadullayev, of course, you know him from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, by way of Zergetal, Tajikistan. His height 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters tall, weight 143.6 pounds, right around 65.8 kilos. Well, actually 65.1 kilos. He owns a professional MMA record, and obviously he's 24 years young, born October the 11th, 2000. No, born October the... what am I trying to say? Born October the 11th in the year 2000. He's 12-0, all 12 of his wins by way of finish. 7 of those 12 in the first round. And oh, by the way, he just came off of a knockout win over Yuta Kubo back at Rising Decade back on New Year's Eve, and just came off of submission wins over Juan Archuleta and Koji Takeda before that. Other than that, dude's a monster. But he'll be in his first world title opportunity. As for his opponents, obviously the now two-time Rising Featherweight World Champion and obviously KSW legend Kleber Koike Earps, of which people affectionately call him as the Jiu-Jitsu Demon Kleber Koike. Fighting out of Iwate, Shizuoka, Japan by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil, 35 years of age. Full record 34-7-1 with 1 no contest, representing Bonsai Jiu-Jitsu. He holds a MMA record of 34-7-1 with 1 no contest, as I mentioned, with 29 of his 34 wins by way of submission. He just won the title back after going on a massive 3-fight winning streak, losing to Masanori Kanehara back at Rising 44, only to submit Yutaka Saito and Juan Archuleta in succession to defeat Chihiro Suzuki in the first fight that crossed over the threshold from 2024 to 2025 in becoming the now two-time Rising Featherweight World Champion. Now that I basically wasted all my breath reading all that, what are your thoughts on this particular fight?
This like I was telling you in the intro, this is maybe the highest level, most skilled fight that they put on, especially since the post-pandemic. I mean, this is extremely high level right here, and it's, I mean, Kleber is, he's in Satoshi De Souza's camp, so that's to me. They're arguably, if not the top, one of the top best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters in the game. Like you said, Kleber is an absolute, submission demon, or however you said it. And then Shadullayev is, to me, I think he's one of the best prospects that they signed for the Epic Rising. And I want them to have a champions clause in the contract. I do not want to lose Shadullayev to the UFC. I don't want him to be poached. If he wins the title, I want there to be a champion clause where he has to defend at least once or twice before the UFC poaches him. I mean, it's just, I'm really excited about him. This bout is going to be, it's on paper, it's a grappler's delight, but their grappling is so good that they might cancel each other out. And if it cancels each other out, then I believe Shada Lab has the advantage on the striking department. And also, remember the X Factor, the beloved superior rule set of the Epic Ryzen. I mean, that is the absolute X Factor here on this whole card. And as we saw with Ryzen 50, there was, I mean, this year's already off to a bang. There was a superior rule set action galore. The fighters seem like they know the assignment, and all we need is some superior rule set finishes now. There was plenty of action on Ryzen 50. Hopefully that carries over in this event right here. I mean, then there's 19 bouts now. There's plenty of opportunities for it. That's one of the reasons why I love having over 15 bouts per card, because this gives you more opportunities for there to be superior rule set. And it's just, I'm telling you, and this main event right here is absolutely sensational. It's arguably the highest level or the most skilled or it's just incredible. I mean, just two incredible grapplers, submission fighters, and one of them, Shadalayev, is probably the hottest prospect or hottest signing that they've had, especially in this new post-pandemic era, in this new era right here, the Epic Ride. I'm so excited for it. I mean, and did you see the odds were released already? And they got what?
I don't really pay much attention to betting odds, even though I do know that if I were to look on Tapology, even though really a lot of these people don't know ball over at Tapology. I mean, you would see that 81% of the people over there are predicting that Shadolayev will defeat Koike. And a good majority of them saying that it's going to be a decision win for Shadolayev.
The odds makers as well. They have Shadolayev as a -400 favorite and Kleber as a +200 underdog, which is crazy to me. I thought it'd be more of an even fight than that, considering Kleber is so dangerous with submissions. But I guess everybody's betting on or banking on that the grappling's going to cancel each other out, and that Kleber won't be able to get him down or keep him down to get to work his submissions. And Shadalayev's grappling is good enough to keep him on the feet to where he's going to be able to outstrike him. So, I mean, that might be what happens.
I mean, to be honest, I won't be surprised if that happens too. But here's the thing. When it comes down to Shadalayev, do you think that he'll have enough in the gas tank to finish it off early?
Oh, that's a good point, because we've never seen him go to the third round, right? He's had nothing but finishes. So that'll be interesting to see. I think Kleber's way too tough to get finished in the first round. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, what if he does, like remember when the Pitbull fight where he kept acting like he was getting rocked and kept flopping back trying to bait Pitbull to come to the ground with him? What if he does that again in this bout? And what if in this bout, and when he does that, Shadalayev knows the assignment and throws some grounded kicks or some stops and gets a finish like that? I mean, I'm just saying it could happen. So we'll see. But it'll be interesting to see, like you're saying, if Kleber can take him into the second and third round, will Shadalayev have the gas tank to get that finish or keep it going? I mean, that's a real question. That's interesting. That's a great point, Jay Krish.
Oh, yeah, it is interesting, especially considering the fact that if you look at this fight in an age versus youth perspective, obviously Shadalayev's 24. He's got the entire world ahead of him. He's got his entire career ahead of him. Koike is 35. He probably might be ready to just hang up the towel if he loses this title again. I mean, especially in as devastating a fashion as he had before.
But he's looked fantastic recently, even though he's not looked 35. I mean, the submission against Juan Archuleta was absolutely sensational. Nice and quick. I mean, just a fantastic leg lock submission. I mean, just like who's the guy that does the RKOs out of nowhere?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, yes, thank you. It was like a Randy Orton leg lock out of nowhere. So it was I mean, he's looked great. So but 35 is, typically for athletes, that is a wall. But hey, I mean, look at LeBron. I mean, look at all these guys are going way past 35 and being very effective athletically nowadays. So we'll see. But dude, to your point, Shadalayev is only 25, 24. He's not even 25 yet. Like the man is just, I mean, at the absolute prime time of his career right now. That's why I'm saying, dude, if he wins, there's got to be a champions clause. There has got to be he's got to defend that title at least once or twice because the UFC is going to try to poach him. 100% UFC is going to try to poach this kid. I mean,
it's pretty obvious that they are going to poach him if he does win this title because let's face it, we saw what happened with Kaya Sakura.
Yeah, but that situation is different because Kai was a Japanese star, and that's what I believe that UFC is building towards is they want to do a UFC Japan event. So they're trying to load up on Japanese stars to sell and that's why they got Koraguchi and all them. I mean, and it just I think it'll be different with Shadalayev. I know they got Temirov, but that was different. This is a higher profile fighter, better fighter, higher profile, and I think Ryzen wants to keep him. So, and I would hope they want to keep him. So I don't think it's going to be that easy to poach him this time. And they better start doing champions clauses and not just letting Ryzen UFC pick off their champions because they clearly. I mean, we've seen it all with Cape. Tofik is gone now too. I mean, Horiguchi, Kai, all these guys that were rising champions, and of course the big one, Jiri Prochazka. Jiri Prochazka is the probably the best one that they got. He's an absolute superstar over in the UFC right now and became UFC champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but that just goes to show you. That just goes to show you how I mean, the Epic Ryzen is the absolute. I mean, it's the best. It produces UFC champions. The superior rule set, superior format with Grand Prix, everything is superior. Right? It just produces better fighters. And look, Drew's already hating. Suck it, Drew. That's the way it is.
I mean, come to think of it, he probably. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's wrong, but then again, he's not right either. But still, though, point of the matter is, now that we talked enough about this particular fight, you want to go ahead and move on to the co-main event?
Sure. I mean, yeah. But this main event, I cannot stress enough how high level it's going to be, how awesome it is, and just I can't wait to see it. And again, if Clever should not be that much of an underdog. It should be more of an even fight because he's a dangerous fighter, and I mean, so if the odds are like that, that's a very live underdog for Clever because he could absolutely win this. So it should be a much closer fight. The odds should not be that lopsided or not lopsided, but that split or whatever. And Shadalayev, I'm telling you guys, he's one of the most exciting prospects, probably the best prospect that Ryzen signed, and just the sky's the limit with this kid. And the Epic Ryzen, they've got to have a champions clause. We cannot let this kid get poached to the UFC. And look at freaking Drew already talking about UFC dreams. No, not for this one, Drew. They're not going to poach this one. Dingleberry Dana is not going to succeed. No, there's no precedent. We're ending the precedent. There is no precedent. That was just with Kai and Kyoji because they want to become the first Japanese UFC champion of the new era since they don't count Sakuraba. But whatever.
Okay. Well, now that you basically are arguing with Andrew, now that you're basically done for now arguing with Andrew.
Drew, why don't you get on the freaking show? Come join the link.
Yes,
you can.
He's saying you can't end precedents is what he's trying to say.
Yes, you can. Just enact the damn champions clause right now for this fight. Just start it up right now. Do champions clause.
But still, though, point of the matter is, we can basically talk more. And see, Andrew is still talking.
Join the show. Join the show. Stop doing little peanut gallery comments and join the show. Let's go.
Wow. But still, though, point of the matter is, we can basically talk all this shit about this fight all day. We just know it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
But the main event, it's going to be something to. Oh, Andrew wants to talk some more? Goddamn.
Oh, he's working out and watching PF fumble. Oh gosh.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the event before one of us lose a gasket. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Mikuru Asakura versus Chihiro Suzuki. The fight that a lot of people weren't really looking forward to because it was supposed to have been Mikuru Asakura versus Ren Hiramoto, but Hiramoto backed out due to injury. So we got Chihiro Suzuki bouncing back actually, they're both bouncing back from back to back losses. It's just that Suzuki's L plays a hell of a lot more sooner than Asakura's L. First of all, for the former Rising Featherweight champion Chihiro Suzuki, he stands in at 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighs in at 145.5 pounds, 173 centimeters, 66 kilos on the button. Fighting out of Cross Point Kichihoji, fighting out of Musashino, Tokyo, Japan. He is also the former Rise World Champion in kickboxing as well. And, oh, damn, Andrew's talking again. PFL on the TV, fun going back and forth between you and my workout music.
What do you listen for workout music, Drew? Something like Katy Perry or some shit?
Oh, wow. Wow. But still, though, let me continue. Chihiro's back-to-back losses came at the hands of Kleber Koike and Karshiga Doubtpeck. So yeah, oh my god, he's saying Lady Gaga.
No, he's trolling. Come on. Quit trolling. Let's go. Let's get to this people's main event.
Well, hey, we're not gonna basically dish you for your musical style, Andrew. We just basically think it's weird. But still, though, point of the matter is Chihiro Suzuki's back-to-back losses were to Kleber Koike and Karshiga Doubtpeck. The Koike loss, he lost that title back at Rising 49. The Doubtbeck loss was at Rising 50 back on March 29th, in which Doubtbeck now waits in the wings for whoever wins the main event. As far as Mikuru Asakura goes, obviously, if you know about him, you know. If not, we're going to tell you about him. Representing Japan top team, fighting out of Toyohashi, Aichi, Japan, the big brother of Kai Asakura. No, wait, actually, the little brother. Come to think,
I thought he was older. He's not older?
God damn it. I'm sorry, but still, though, point of the matter is, I thought Kai was the big brother of the two between him and Mikuru. Let me try and take a look. 1 second. On the fly, looking at this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mikuru is the bigger brother. Born July 15th, 1992.
The bigger brother, the bigger star, and still with the Epic Rising.
Yeah. Fighting Japan top team, hailing from Toyohashi, Aichi, Japan. He is 17-5 with 1 no contest. That's his professional MMA record. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have, despite having the most wins via knockout between the two, I think he's coming in with lesser knockout power, even though, of course, he's 11-4 overall inside the Epic Rising. But his back-to-back losses, as a matter of fact, if you want to count one where he's not even in the right sport, he's basically going into back-to-back losses. Got choked out by Vugar Karbov. Got knocked out by Yaman, a.k.a. Ren Sugiyama, at Rise Fight Club, and then got knocked out in that last man standing bout at Super Rising 3 last year to Ren Hiramoto. So, yeah, it's basically like this. Whose grudge will be more vanquished in the end is the question I would lay out in this particular case, because Asakura was supposed to face off against Ren Hiromoto in this rematch. That didn't happen. Hiromoto got injured. We're probably going to have to wait until the end of the year for that to be realized. But with this match now changing up and it's Asakura and Suzuki, I just got to ask again, whose grudge do you think will get more vanquished in the end? And Andrews basically said, I hope Hikaru gets UFC dreams after he beats Chihiro.
That's not going to happen. They already tried to poach him and he couldn't do it. He's staying in Japan where he makes the most money. He's the biggest star in Japan, and I love that he's still fighting. And the Epic Rising is the elite crucible that produces UFC champions and UFC star fighters better than any other promotion in the world because of the superior rule set, superior format, everything. So, and Mikuru Asakura for today's Rising is the biggest star in Japan, and that's one of the main reasons why the Tokyo Dome is going to be filled with probably 50,000 fans plus. And most of them are going to be there for this bout right here. This is why I call it the people's main event. And Jay Chris, to your point, you're absolutely correct. Mikuru, his path to victory here, he cannot get into a striking battle with Chihiro. Chihiro will knock his ass out with the quickness if he gets into a strike. Mikuru has got to grapple and got to take some gas away from Chihiro because Chihiro is... he's the Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull got knocked out. The first man in history to knock out Patricio Pitbull is Chihiro Suzuki. And, he's got real knockout power and elite striking. And, I'm telling you, if Mikuru does not grapple and try to take some of his gas away, then he's going to get knocked out. And so to answer your question about whose grudge is going to get lifted here, it's going to be Chihiro's. He's going to get that monkey off his back and get off that win. And he should not even be on a losing streak right now. At Rising 50, he's doing a quick little 4-week turnaround here. He just fought at Rising 50. And I thought he got robbed. At Rising 50.
Do you think that he should have beaten Karshiga?
I really do. And it just... hopefully I wonder if that puts a chip on his shoulder to really go out here and really just annihilate Mikuru. And that's what I'm saying. If Mikuru does not come into this bout with a grapple first mindset, he's going to get knocked out. So, and let me see what the odds makers say too. They have this one. Wow. This one, they have Mikuru as only a plus 160 underdog and Chihiro is minus 230. So, that's, to me, that's about as good as it's going to get for if you want to put some money on Chihiro to win because it's a prop bet of a knockout.
To be honest, it makes sense that 85% of the Tapology fan base wants Suzuki to win via knockout. And, well, actually, no, 89.7% out of that 85% want to see a Suzuki knockout win. Do you think that Asakura needs to try and avoid that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just hope it's not that bad of a knockout to where it doesn't end his career because he's got, multiple fights coming up. Remember this bout, Chihiro was plugged in here because Ren got injured and there was other guys that were wanting to fight Mikuru, like Hagiwara that's on this card as well. But you see, he was just, they want him to get a couple more wins before because he's not even at 500 on his record yet. So they probably want him to get to 500 before he challenges Mikuru again. So that's what they're building up for that one. And then also, they, like you said, the Ren Hiromoto fight, that's probably going to be happening towards the end of the year. So hopefully Chihiro does not knock out Mikuru in too devastating a fashion. Hopefully it's like a quick, knockdown, maybe a grounded kick real quick to get the ref to jump in. Hopefully it's not like a brutal beatdown knockout where Mikuru just goes, you know what, forget this, I'm out. I'm just going to go run Breaking Down and make a bunch of money on YouTube.
And now Andrew is basically being preoccupied.
Oh, who cares about the PF fumble? What's the count up to? What's the decision count up to? Is it up to 4 yet? They only got 8 cards. They only got 8 bouts in the card. It's already got 4 decisions.
You realize it's tournament formatting, right?
Yeah, but it's not even the. I mean, you know what? Let's give them props for switching to an actual elimination tournament format, but and also allowing elbows, which is awesome. That's what we love. But it's only 8-man. Why the heck is it only 8-man when they have the roster to make it 16-man? And they're not even doing one night Grand Prix finals like the Epic Rising. The Epic Rising has a superior tournament format. You're going to see what this. Actually, I don't know if you will with the 8-man heavyweight Grand Prix, but for sure when the flyweight Grand Prix kicks off, I'm anticipating that's going to be a 16-man. And if that is, that's going to have a one-night GP final, which is the I mean, it's the best. It is the absolute best. So that's the supreme tournament format, as I like to call it, is the Grand Prix format. So, and maybe they will the heavyweight Grand Prix too. We'll see. I mean,
hopefully so.
So I mean, quit putting Drew's trolling comments up here. There ain't no freaking mismatches, buddy. Look at how close the odds are. The odds are extremely close for every single bout on this card. There is nothing over. Oh, I guess there's one of the kickboxing bouts is a kind of lopsided, but everything else is extremely close. Nothing over plus or minus 200 either way. That is about as well matched and even as you can get. And the odds makers prove it. They wouldn't have them that close if it was mismatches.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the next fight that'll be taking place. Again, this is in the featherweight division. Ryo Takagi versus Kiyoma Akimoto. And when it comes down to this particular fight, Ryo Takagi, all 25 years of age, born September 12, 1999, representing Paresta Hachioji, fighting out of Musashino, Tokyo, Japan, by way of Chiba, Japan. He holds an 8-2 professional MMA record, with 6 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently 2-1 in the Rising Fighting Federation, with his lone loss being to Viktor Kolesnik, but he come back off back-to-back first-round finishes over Taisei Nishitani and Kyohei Hagiwara, both of whom will be fighting on this damn card. As far as Kiyoma Akimoto is concerned, he is 7-1. He is all of 19 years of age. To be young again.
Yeah, what are they doing putting a kid on the men's festival? He can't even grow a beard or mustache yet.
I mean, get time. He's only 19. But still, though, he's 7-1 overall, representing Paresta Kashiwa, fighting out of Chiba, Japan. His 7 wins are basically divided by 4 knockouts, a submission, and 2 decision wins. And, of course, he's 2-1 inside the Rising Fighting Federation. But the thing is, his most recent fight was a loss to Yuki Motoya back at Rising 49, where everybody was basically hoping that Motoya would be, earning a title opportunity or at least keeping his career alive off of this fight. And he did, and that ended up with him losing to Naoki Inoue back at Rising 49. Oh my God. Chris, stop reading the gems for fighters. He's at JTT, Japan Top Team. He hasn't been at JTT. No, he hasn't been at Kashiwa for at least a century. Oh my God.
Well, are you saying Tapology is wrong, Drew? That's why you need to get on the show here.
I think that's what he's trying to say, but come on, and I can't help it. I don't basically like having to do basic statistics, Still, though.
Yeah, we got to use Tapology because we can't use SureDog because SureDog, they kicked out their one of the founders of the site, Jeff Sherwood. So screw SureDog. I'll never click on them again. So we only use Tapology. So yell at them, Drew, not us.
Yeah. But, oh, wait a minute. Yes, they are. They have my page wrong, too, which is true. I mean, Andrew is an amateur mixed martial artist, and they gave him the wrong-looking picture.
What picture? Oh, I'm going to look it up right now. Will they give a picture of what he's looked like? Is it a totally different guy?
I mean, they gave him a picture where he had an awkward looking smile.
Perfect. That's fantastic.
But still, though, point of the matter is, when it comes down to the odds for this fight, according to Tapology's community picks, 70% want the young prospect Akimoto to win. What are your overall thoughts before Andrew comments on our pay on this show again?
I really love this bout, and I'm excited that they put it so high on the card right before the people's main event with Mikuru Asakura, the biggest star. So there's going to be so many eyes on this fight right here, and Japanese eyes too. I mean, this kid, I like to call him the Rising Prince Akimoto, because remember his debut when he was like barely 18 years old, and he scored. He won by superior rule set, grounded knees, right? So the kid knows the assignment, and then his previous bout, he kind of forgot the assignment a little bit. Hopefully he remembered it, and then this bout he's going to utilize superior rule set some more. But this fight is it's a close fight. The odds for it, they're crazy close. Prince Akimoto is only a minus 165 favorite, and Ryo Takage is only a plus 125 underdog. So the odds makers have this fight absolutely, I mean, almost dead even close, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm like, it makes me think it's like the Rising brass knows that this fight's gonna be badass. That's why they have it so high on the card. So I'm really looking forward to this, because I'm really high on Prince Akimoto, and if he can get this done, his star trajectory is just gonna keep rising, and it's gonna be something to see. So I just hope he knows the assignment or remembers the assignment, and I hope it's a banger fight, and really just helps elevate his star. And I hope that Akimoto can pull it off and get the W. And if he does, it's gonna just, like I said, his star trajectory is just on the rise, and that's why they place him so high on the card. Because if he gets that W, fans are going to remember him, and he really is going to earn that title as a rising prince.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, Andrew, basically, let me go ahead and put this comment back on. He said, this whole thing should be renamed the JTT Festival.
I think it's funny, it's the men's festival. That's why I kept my winter beard to go along with the whole manliness, add to the manliness of the whole men's festival here.
Right, of course.
But hey, no, isn't in all seriousness, all joking aside, isn't the how do you say, Otoko Masari?
Otoko Matsuri.
Otoko Matsuri. Isn't that harkening back to the Almighty Pride FC days? Didn't they have a couple events named that as well?
Yeah, but
yes. Okay.
Pride Shockwave.
Yes. Okay. So there you go. That's why they're naming this Otoko Matsuri, the men's festival, harkening back to Almighty Pride FC, because it's a Tokyo Dome show, a massive event. We're gonna be 50,000 plus fans in attendance. So that's why. That's exactly why. And I think it's a much better name than calling it the match 2. I mean, to me, that didn't even make sense to call it the match 2 when it wasn't, Takeru and Tenshin, which was the original match. Why would they have this be the match? I get that it was going to be a rematch between, of the last man standing belt, basically, between Ren and Mikuru. That's why it was called the match 2. But in my opinion, it should have been the last man standing 2, right? But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's now the men's festival, Otoko Matsuri, and Otoko Matsuri, and that's harkening back to the Almighty Pride FC days. That's why they did it. It's going to be awesome. And to finish up with this, I hope Rising Prince Akimoto has a fantastic showing and just elevates his star level. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, and let's go ahead and talk about the last of these 4 featherweight fights that are going to be taking place to round out the card, and that's going to be Kyohei Hagiwara versus Taisei Nishitani, of which I did mention these 2 fighters were fighting on this card. Both of them are under 500, but let's just be obvious. Japan doesn't give a damn about fight records. They care about storylines.
That's right.
As
And Hagiwara is a big. I wouldn't say a big star, but he's definitely a star over there, and definitely a fan favorite for the Japanese fans.
Anyways, if we were to give a damn about records, Kyohei Hagiwara, 8-10 overall, representing Team Smoker, fighting out of Osaka, Japan. 29 years of age, born December 28th, 1995. He holds a record of 8-10, as I mentioned. But all 8 of those wins, or actually 6 of those 8 wins, come by way of knockout. He's 7-8 overall in the Rising Fighting Federation, and he just came off a controversial first round knockout over Tobi Misek back at Rising 50. His opponent, Taisei Nishitani, 6-8 overall, representing Japan Top Team, fighting out of Okayama, Japan, 28 years of age, born October 26, 1996. He is 0-2 in Rising in his career so far. 4 of his 6 wins come by way of submission, but unfortunately he's coming off of back-to-back finishes against Ryo Takagi in Rising and Kaito Yoshimura in Deep. And if you want to really count that non-factor fight in Rise, the Rise Fight Club event, his knockout win over Hiroto Yamaguchi, he's really riding a 3-fight losing streak because he got pounded out by the General Killer Kaibatsu-kun Hiroaki Suzuki back at Rising 43. So yeah, 3-fight losing streak. This is a battle between lovable losers who are under 500. I mean, who do you think is going to get the win? I just can't really reply all that much because Andrew's basically bashing me saying, why are these 2 losers fighting? Put them in the landfill. And why was it controversial? Because Misek was hoping that he would have a longer experience in the promotion?
Oh, to answer your question, I think it's going to be Hagiwara. I'm really liking the improvement I'm seeing out of Hagiwara, especially with his grappling.
Mm-hmm.
And, Hagiwara was one of the ones that was angling to get the Mikuru fight. And probably the only reason they didn't give it to him was because, like you said, he's not 500 yet in his record. He's getting there. He's going to get there. And maybe they want to save that for a later date for Mikuru, to entice him to keep fighting, not retire so soon. Also, Chihiro, in his previous fight with Dalbeck, that I thought he won, but whatever, it was a banger, absolute banger, a fight of the year candidate banger. That was just 4 weeks ago. So that's probably why that they, the Japanese judges were scared of giving him appearing like they were giving a home cooking decision to give it to Chihiro. And maybe the brass at Rising felt bad about that. Or they were also impressed with his Fight of the Year performance, or Fight of the Year candidate performance, I should say. And that's why they're like, okay, we're going to put you on the Tokyo Dome card in the biggest, most highest profile people's main event fight that we got on this Tokyo Dome card. And, that was probably like a way of saying, apologizing to him for basically screwing him over in the Dalbeck fight. In my opinion, it was a close fight. And, obviously there was, it was a split decision. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like they all did, it was a close fight. So, but still, that's why they gave it to Chihiro. But Hagiwara was in the running to be Mikiru's opponent, or the replacement opponent for Ren Hiramoto to face Mikuru in this massive event. So that's why he's on this card as well, because it's a Tokyo Dome, big event, and he is a popular fighter in Japan. And in his most recent bouts, even the ones that losses, he has shown some improvement on his grappling. So that's what we want to see. So that's what I'm guessing. They're putting him in this fight right here because he's a fan favorite, and they want to keep him on that trajectory of improvement and getting. They want him to get to that Mikuru fight. They want him to get to that Mikuru fight, so they want to get him some good more experience, get him back to the 500, and also make the fans happy that the fan favorite get a W. So I'm expecting some violence out of this one. And remember, Hagiwara knows the assignment. Going back to the very first cage event, which they called Rising Trigger First, It was called Trigger before it was called Landmark. So Rising Trigger first, Hagiwara absolutely put the cherry on top of that card. Absolutely cherried that card with a sensational grounded kick knockout. That just, I mean, it was, to me, that it was, I have in the top 3 Rising events ever. It was so freaking awesome. And Hagiwara was the reason that he put the cherry on top with the fantastic grounded kick knock. So that man knows the assignment. So I'm expecting violence. Absolute awesome, superior rule set violence on this one. It's gonna be it's gonna be fucking awesome. I cannot wait.
Okay, now when it comes down to the odds on this one, I'm not betting odds. I'm going by what Tapology and their community is saying. 93% of the fan base over there want to see a Hagiwara knockout. How does he prevent that from happening?
And here, let me tell you the actual odds here, or not the actual, the betting odds for the site that Just Bleed fan. Shout out to Just Bleed fan from the Rising Discord who posted these odds for us. Hagiwara is a minus 190 favorite, and Nishitani is a plus 145 underdog. Very close fight, could almost be even. So that's real interesting. The odds makers have it that close. So they're not counting on Nishitani here. They're saying that Hagiwara is going to have to earn it, which he probably will. But I think he's shown enough improvement where he will. And of course, you got to remember the X factor, which is our beloved superior rule set, and Hagiwara knows the assignment. So this one could end up being awesome.
Hopefully so. Now, before we talk about the next fights that are going to be taking place, which is going to be in the heavyweight Grand Prix, we got to basically talk about, what won't be in the heavyweight Grand Prix. There was supposed to have been a bout in the heavyweight Grand Prix between Russian-born, German-bred fighter Alexander Soldatkin versus the Hulk from Kyrgyzstan, Islambek Batibek Ulu. But the latter of those two fighters from Europe basically had a torn meniscus, and now he's off the card, and Soldatkin will be fighting somebody on the Rising Landmark 11 card in Sapporo next month. That'll be June 14th for those of y'all who are keeping score. When it comes down to these 3 heavyweight Grand Prix fights, Ueda versus Shibisai, Sudario versus Augusto, and Samochiuk versus Daniel James, I just got to ask before we run them down, which one do you think is going to be the most underwhelming of the 3?
Oh, I don't think there's going to be – I think they're all bangers. I absolutely love it. And, it's a shame that Soldatkin it's awesome that they're keeping that as part of the heavyweight Grand Prix. It's just delayed a little bit, like you said, to the June 14th Rising Landmark event, which is going to be in the cage. It's going to be awesome. And Soldatkin, if you remember, he's from he was from the Dana White Contender Series, where he got disqualified for an illegal knee, and which is totally legal in the Epic Rising on a superior rule set. And I almost guarantee you that's what got him signed to the Epic Rising. They saw that on Dana White because he won the bout. He won the bout. He just got disqualified for the illegal knee under the pussified UFC rule set. But anyways, I was really excited for this bout. And I'm still excited to see Soldatkin in the heavyweight Grand Prix. Excuse me. To me, he's probably one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the thing. So but to answer your question, there is I don't think there's a bad fight in this heavyweight Grand Prix. I think they're all bangers, and I can't wait to see each and every one of them. It's going to be awesome. And I love how they put their own. It's got its own poster for this heavyweight Grand Prix with T-Rex dinosaurs. It's caused absolute mayhem. So I love it. I love Sakakibara-san and all of them at the Epic Rising. They're on point with their poster game, and it perfectly encapsulates what this heavyweight Grand Prix is going to be about. It's going to be absolute carnage and mayhem from big old monster heavyweight men. It's going to be awesome.
Come to think of it, I don't know if they're just big Godzilla fanatics or if they basically want to harken back to the days of what Pride FC used to be.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're going for to be Pride 2.0. But to be Pride 2.0, they got to expand the roster and you bring in international guys, which is what they're doing right here with the heavyweight Grand Prix. This is basically going to be opening up the heavyweight division, and you have noticed they're bringing a bunch of international fighters, and they're talking about having the winner of this Grand Prix is going to be facing how they put it. He said it wasn't accomplished.
With a very interesting set of skills.
Yeah, so he was talking about they're probably going to be a big signing, probably somebody like Ryan Bader or somebody, right? Because that's what they were talking about.
If it is Ryan Bader, if it is Bader, it's going to be the worst kept secret in all of fight sports.
But hey, he is he was former Bellator champion, UFC contender. So I mean, hey, that's a pretty big test, and I bet you that will be for the inaugural heavyweight belt in the Epic Rising. And that shows them just that they're expanding like we want. And that is what it takes if they want to get to the Pride 2.0 status. They got to expand the roster, expand the weight divisions, and bring in international fighters. And that's what's going to do it. That's what's going to do it right there. So it's just a matter of time. Just got to give them a little bit of time here. And this is a fantastic kickoff to that. This heavyweight Grand Prix. And then to watch when the Flyweight Grand Prix kicks off in July. And there's some fighters on this card right here that could be in that Flyweight Grand Prix. We'll get to that later. So we'll say that for later. But again, to answer your question, there's not a they're all bangers. This is a fantastic heavyweight Grand Prix, and they're all bangers. And it's a shame that how is his name? Ulu?
Yeah, just call him Ulu.
Ulu, yeah. They call him the Kyrgyz Hulk. The Kyrgyzstan Hulk, Ulu. It's a shame he got injured. So we're looking forward to that. That might have been one of the top fights on this heavyweight Grand Prix. It's going to be interesting to see who they get for a replacement for him, for Soldakin. But I'm very happy they're keeping Soldakin in the heavyweight Grand Prix. Now, that reminds me. Who do you think is going to be the replacement for Ulu, the Kyrgyz Hulk, to face Soldakin?
I don't know, because I'm really not that. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not fascinated in the scene outside the UFC as far as heavyweights go, but is there really that many top-level heavyweights or really middle-level heavyweights in the world of fight sports these days, especially in MMA, that could step up to the plate? Because a lot of them are pretty much currently signed by the UFC.
Their UFC's division's weak. What about they just released what's his name? BG Boy. Rosenstruck. Did he sign with? Is he signed with anybody yet?
It would be cool for him to come back to Ryzen and fight in this tournament, but the dude's too big of a name now.
Nah, I don't think so. If he's available, that I think that could be it.
I mean, it'd be cool if they get him, but I don't know if they'd be willing to pay to get him,
Well, I mean, if I don't think he's going to be asking for an exorbitant amount, so we'll see.
Saying that he's going to probably go to BKFC.
Well, hey, BKFC is still collaborating with the Epic Rising, so he can still fight in the Grand Prix. Look at John Dotson, which we'll talk about later, the current BKFC flyweight champion, still fighting the Epic Rising, probably going to be in the flyweight Grand Prix.
You know what? Speaking of BKFC and champions, I think that they might probably get Ben Rothwell to join.
Oh, there you go. Bam. Perfect. I remember, that's right. You were talking about how this heavyweight Grand Prix, they were going to have an American fighter somewhere. And of course, it became Daniel James, right? So so that would make a total sense, because I remember you saying Ben Rothwell. I was like, oh, man, fantastic suggestion. Drew, yes, there is. Get that trolling shit off there, man. There is totally a collaboration with BKFC, collaboration with BKFC, collaboration with KSW, collaboration with Road FC and Korean promotions. And there's plenty of The only one that doesn't collaborate is your boy, Drew, Dummy Don Davis. How stupid is he for ending the collaboration? Fucking idiot, man.
Yeah. You know what? Let's go ahead and run down these bouts that will be happening in the heavyweight instead of just gawking over Dingleberry Don.
No, it's Dingleberry Dana White and Dummy Don Davis.
Right, of course. But let's just go ahead and talk about the fighters that neither one of them have in their employ, and that is the heavyweight Grand Prix. We're going to talk about the heavyweight Grand Prix bout that'll be closing out the inventory that'll take place on this card, and that's the All Japan battle between Mikio Ueda and Shoma Shibisai. First of all, for Mikio, the younger of the two competitors, and really the more grizzled of these two, because of course, dude fought in the Kumite before. 4-2 overall, fighting out of Ota City, Tokyo, Japan, representing Brave Jim, 6'2", 237 and 3/4 pounds, 30 years of age, born May 1st, 1995. Of his wins, all four of his wins come by way of knockout, half in the first round, half in the second. And he's got finished in both times that he lost, losing to Przemysław Kowalczyk, and of course losing in his MMA debut to TK Tsuyoshi Kosaka. Other than that, dude's been on a tear. He's pretty much been a monster since joining the Rising Fighting Federation, outside of the losses to Kowalczyk and Kosaka. He knocked out Hideki Shirtsukine, who would have been in this tournament. He knocked out Tsuyoshi Sudario, who is in this tournament, and he knocked out Tae Kim back at Rising Decade on New Year's Eve. So, yeah, pretty much the strength of schedule speaks for itself. And oh my God, Andrew is saying, "Oh my God, Chris, he's not at Brave anymore." I mean, dude, maybe you should probably let me know beforehand, and so I wouldn't have to go into this shit blind.
No, he could be because they got that might be the next collaboration that's happening. So they got another fighter that was at Brave that's coming over, and they might even have Mokaev be part of the Flyweight Grand Prix, who's at Brave right now. So
And
there's
talking about Brave, the training ground under
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. I thought
Little
I thought,
Hercules.
I thought he was still on the collaboration, not just
Yeah,
trolling about that.
Little Hercules cats. I mean, under Little Hercules Kazuyuki Fujita. No, actually, no. Little Hercules Kazuyuki Miyata. That's Brave Jim, not Brave Combat Federation. But still, though, point of the matter is, I get what you're saying. Either way, his opponent, Shoma Shibisai, 10-3, 34 years of age, the older of the two, born March 11, 1991, fighting out of Chiba, Japan, representing Kuromoto Juku. He's 5-2 in Rising, 10-3 and 1 no contest overall. All 10 of his wins have come by way of finish, with 9 of those 10 coming in the first round. As far as his track record in Rising is concerned, he is 5-2, and a good portion of those wins in the Rising Fighting Federation. And yes, we're going to count the Bellator fight as well against Sergey Shimatov at Rising 230. I mean, at Bellator 237. Those are all first round finishes. He is a monster in his own right, even though he's also a former cop. But still, though, point of the matter is, I mean, this is one of these monster battles that are going to be talked about. So, your thoughts on this fight?
I absolutely love it. We're talking about the Shibasai and Ueda fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love this. I'm so happy that this got mashed up. This is probably the two top. Well, there's 3 top Japan heavyweights, right? There's Sudario, Shibasai, and Ueda right here. And Ueda might be the best of them all. He's got a Kyokushin karate background, so he's got fantastic kicks and striking. I absolutely love. I'm hoping that he wins. But Shibasai is also a fantastic fighter. He's even got Shibasai. Remember, he was from Ganryujima moat fighting, so he's got moat fighting experience. I absolutely love Shibasai. And let me tell you what the odds are for this one. I was surprised at how close this one was as well. Here, let me see. Oh, oops. Oh,
let me guess. Is it near even?
It is near even. Yes. Let me, dude. Where the heck did it go? There it is. It's all the way at the bottom. I'm sorry. Of these odds, that's all. See, let me see if it's still there. There you go. It's all the way here at the bottom. So it's Shibasai is at minus 140. He's the slight favorite, and Ueda is plus 100. That is, I mean, that is about as even as it can get. That is about as even as it can get. And this is, man, this could go either way, but they're giving the edge to Shibasai. And we got another one. Ryzen will thrive, says Josh Barnett finished showing knees to the body. If McKeel, who's well known for his lethal knees, lands similar to Barnett, Shoma is done. Yes, agreed 100%. If Ueda can get some nasty kicks going to the body, he's definitely going to have Shibasai in trouble. So that's, I mean, hey, if the odds still have Ueda as even a slight underdog, that could be a live dog right there, 100%. And as Ryzen will thrive said, that, I mean, he's susceptible, Shibasai is susceptible to body strikes. So, and, you know, Ueda, that karate background, fantastic kicks, it could happen. It could happen. So that, I mean, I'm just really excited for this one. This is, and I love how it guarantees there's going to be a Japanese fighter in the semifinals, at least for this heavyweight Grand Prix.
I mean, yeah, of course it will guarantee that because of the fact that when it comes down to those three, and you can also count Hideki Sakine as well, there's not that many Japanese heavyweights on the roster as is. And to be honest, I would say that Edipolo King is one of them, but he's A, a walking anatomy, and B, dude hasn't even had that many fights on his record, you know?
Yeah, and I thought he was going to be an alternate. Maybe that's who they're going to plug in for against Sodakin. I mean, but like you said, he doesn't have enough experience, though. And
I think if that were to happen, Homeboy might get his feelings hurt because there's no way that Ed Polo King would be able to face off against a monster like Sodakin.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But you see that they got the UFC sent over Chama. Politan is over here in Japan. He's hanging out with Ed Polo King, going to restaurants and training with him and all that good stuff. So I wonder if he's going to be at the Epic Rising Otoko Matsuri Men's Festival this weekend. You think he'll be in there? Think he'll be in the ring?
There's 50,000 people there. Hopefully he will be.
Yeah, and maybe he'll get in the ring like Sean O'Malley did to say Happy New Year's. Maybe Politan get in the ring just to go, Chama!
Yeah, of course.
During the intermission.
And Ed was basically saying, oh, I think I need to change to Rising instead.
No, that's PFL, buddy. Look at the Nielsen ratings.
And obviously he's saying that the UFC didn't send over Alex Pahelia. He went there probably on his own accord.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure the UFC had nothing to say about that. Mm-hmm. Just like Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sure. That was just all on the free. What if this is part of what they got for Kaya Sakura going over? Sending Kaya Sakura and Horiguchi over. UFC sends some star fighters over to hype up the crowd and stuff. Obviously, they can't fight because they're still in a contract with the UFC, but they're there doing stuff before them. Like Sean O'Malley was doing like a YouTube show or before the fights, getting the fans hyped. And obviously, Politan's over there right now doing stuff with Ed Polo King, doing pre-fight stuff, getting the fans hyped. Well, if that's part of what, you know, the Kaya Sakura and Horiguchi sending them over there. I mean, there's obviously something going on. The UFC ain't letting these star fighters come over here for, you know, just, I mean, they had to okay it, is what I'm saying. They had to okay it. There's no way that they're just letting them get in the ring to say stuff. No way that's not you know, okayed by the UFC brass, 100%.
Well,
what's this part what Drew's saying here?
Andrew was saying that Sean O'Malley was sent as a part of the Fabio coverage to be a part of their commentary crew for what would have Garcia versus Ampo.
Okay, but even if that were true, that's still the UFC had to sign off on that. You think that, I mean, look at how controlling UFC is and restrictive contracts and everything. You think they're gonna just allow one of their star fighters to go over there and do commentary and stuff for a rival promotion for nothing? I mean, I don't think so.
Well, that is true, but no. As long as they didn't say they're fighting, they can to anywhere.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Knowing Dingleberry Dana, how restricted their contracts are, there's no way they didn't sign off on Politan coming over and O'Malley coming over. So,
and
what does Rising Will Thrive say right here? Chama is the equivalent of the prefix sama, but for infants. The Japanese viewers, the little child, a little baby pulling into his favorite face. No, the Japanese fans are some of the smartest fans in the sport today. They know what Chama is. They know who Peloton is, and they've probably already seen him training with Ed Polo King. I bet you they'll bring them both out, have him in the ring, and I guarantee he's going to say Chama. And no, the Japanese fans are not going to think it's the child phrase Sama. They'll know what Chama is. They know who Peloton is. The Japanese fans are smart, very smart.
Yeah, true that they are. Now let's go ahead and talk about the second Rising Heavyweight Grand Prix bout that'll be taking place on this
Oh,
card.
wait, did we finish up with Ueda and Shibasai? Who
I
did you
mean,
think was going to win?
to be honest, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I think Ueda might win. As far as the Tapology fan base is concerned, I think they have it 77% for Shibasai, but
That's way too lopsided.
yes, that is way too lopsided, especially considering that Ueda just turned 30 like 72 hours ago as we're talking about this. But still, though, point is, I think that this fight probably might. Let's just say it's not going to reach the final bell either way. This fight is going to be a kaiju battle from the start, from the very.
Yes, it's going to be Godzilla versus Anguirus.
Yes, of course.
Or no, wait, no, because that was Anguirus was not another. It's going to be Godzilla versus like King Ghidorah or somebody, a bigger monster than Anguirus, because Anguirus became a friend of Godzilla. He was from the second one of Godzilla. You remember the original Godzillas? But anyway, it's going to be, like you said, massive kaiju battle, and it could go either way. Look at the actual odds makers that are putting for the betting purposes, have it so close. It's practically an even fight. And I love what Rising Will Thrive said about the Shibasai being susceptible to body strikes. And Ueda, he's going to know that. So I think you're right. I think Ueda's going to do it. I think he's going to take it, and he might do it from body kick, like a liver kick or something. And, who knows? And if he's at a plus 100 underdog, that's a live dog right there. That's a live dog, 100%. I think it's going to be a banger. I can't wait.
Yeah, I hope so too. Now let's go ahead and talk about the second heavyweight Grand Prix fight that'll be taking place on this card, and that's Tsuyoshi Sudario versus Jose Gugu Augusto. First of all, the Brazilian and LFA representative Augusto. He has a record of 10-4 overall, representing the Pitbull Brothers Academy, fighting out of Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, by way of Paulo Alfonso Bahia, Brazil. He's 33 years of age, born March 28th, 1992. He has an actual record of 10-4 with one no contest, and he's fought 6 times between Bellator and the LFA, even though, really, he's fought his last 2 fights in the LFA cage, and he's fought 4 times in Bellator. And those 4 fights were separated between an arm triangle choke submission victory over Jonathan Wilson, back-to-back losses to the late great Anthony Rumble Johnson and Alex Sleazy Polizzi, or Easy Polizzi, and beating former Rising alum Simon Lionheart Biong, before winning those 2 fights in the LFA against Richard Jacoby and Edivan Santos. The latter of those 2 come by cut back at LFA 197 back on November 22nd in Brazil. And yes, no, wait a minute. Andrew was saying, wait, he fought in Rising 6 times? No, dummy. He's fought 6 times between Bellator and the LFA. That's all I gotta say on that. Come on, man. Think with your brain.
Yeah, quit trolling, Drew. Come on. Use your brain.
Think with your head and not with your gut, even though you probably have less body fat than we both have combined. But
yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting down there.
deal though. Tsuyoshi Sudario, 9-3 overall. 6'3", 261 pounds, and oh, by the way, as far as as far as his opponent goes, he's 6'3", Augusto is 6'3", 266. Sudario is 6'3", 261. So not only are they virtually identical as far as records go, they're virtually identical as far as weight goes. Anyways, Sudario, fighting out of Oyama, Toshiki, Japan, formerly an Ensign Inoue trainee, of course, and he's fought all 12 of his mixed martial arts fights in Rizin. 9-3 overall, 8 of his 9 wins come by way of knockout, 5 of those 8 in the first round. As far as who he beat up to get here, he beat up Hisaki Kato, the 40-plus-year-old veteran who's French and Japanese, at Rizin Landmark 10 back on November 17th. And obviously he has, as far as strength of schedule goes, he has wins over Dylan James, Minowa Man, Kazushi Miyamoto, Lord Lane St. Ilme, Hideki Shirtsukine, Yano Sukas, Rocky Martinez, and Dong Kwan Lim, with losses coming at the hands of 2 tournament participants, obviously Shoma Shibisai and Mikio Ueda, in addition to being the stepping stone for Junior Tapa to get into the UFC. So now that I basically ran my breath out on this, I mean, the Tapology Fate Force saying that Augusto is going to come in and wreck shop 78% of them anyways. What do you say Sudario should do in order to prevent being ran through like a house on fire?
Well, he's just got to fight his fight, and he's got to know the assignment, and he's got to, implement his game plan, not just not be, he's got to avoid the first round rush, and he's going to have a little bit of size advantage because Augusto, remember, he was fighting down at 205 pounds, so they're both small heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Sudario is going to have a little bit of size advantage over him. And remember, Augusto, what?
On the contrary, Jay, you do know that Tsuyoshi Sudario is a former sumo wrestler, right?
Yes.
So he's not small in any means. He just basically got down in weight.
Right. I meant small, like height-wise. Like he's not like a towering 6'5" heavyweight, basically, is what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it says he's 6'3". Oh, never mind. He's not small at all.
Yeah. And Rise Will Thrive said Sudario has fought mostly middleweights and lackluster against those middleweights. How do you think he'll handle a light heavyweight naturally, like Jose Augusto?
Well, it's going to be real interesting to see because this is what Sudario wanted. Remember, he was talking about he wants to face a good foreign international fighter, and remember that he almost almost got poached by the UFC until he lost to Ueda, right? And so he was talking about he wants to face international competition. So he's getting his wish right here. And Augusto is a very good fighter. That Anthony Rumble Johnson, RIP, that bout with Anthony Rumble Johnson, that was a sensational bout. It takes 2 to make a fantastic bout, right? It takes 2 to tango. And Augusto almost knocked out Anthony Rumble Johnson, and Rumble had to come back and scored a comeback knockout victory. It was sensational. That was one of the best knockouts, and it shows that Augusto is not afraid to get in a firefight and go out on his shield. So he's going to bring it to Sudario. Sudario better be ready. Sudario better bring his A game, and he better be ready because Augusto, he's from the Pitbull Brothers camp. You know those guys, they're animals. The Pitbull Brothers are just absolute killers, and Augusto is of the same mold, of the same breed, I guess. I'm surprised his nickname's not Pitbull as well. But listen, this is exactly what Sudario wanted. A good international fighter, and it's going to be a fantastic test for him. And he better bring his A game because Augusto is going to he's going to bring it, and he's not afraid to get in a firefight and go down his shield. And check out what the odds say on this one. The odds are this is another one that is incredibly close. They have Sudario as the -150 favorite. Okay, and Augusto is the plus 110 underdog. Another one with just an incredibly live underdog right here. Even though the odds are so close, but still, that's a live underdog because Augusto definitely could win this. That's very interesting that the odds makers are saying that Sudario is the favorite here. That shows that Drew is full of crap. That he doesn't suck. He's actually a good fighter, and otherwise the odds makers wouldn't have him as so close. So, and to answer Rise and Roll Thrive's question about how he's going to deal with a light heavyweight like Augusto, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I cannot wait. I really, this is going to be a good one. This is another fantastic. I'm telling you, every single one of these heavyweight Grand Prix matchups are bangers. This is a good one. This is really, it's going to be interesting to see. You know, Sudario got his wish to fight a good international fighter and see if he can deliver. And I mean, Augusto's coming in there to kill. Like, he's going to be aggressive. And, you know, how is Sudario going to handle aggressiveness? Remember when the Ueda fight, an aggressive Ueda got Sudario out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got him with the body kick and then got him with a head kick, actually, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
and scored a TKO. So, you know, as Sudario learned any lessons from that, you know, he's going to have to show up his striking because Augusto is going to come in there with the Pitbull Brothers camp striking. So, I mean, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see this one. And I'm impressed. I cannot believe that the odds makers have this close, and they have Sudario as the favorite. That's incredible. That's why a goose is a live dog. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a banger. And so what do you think, though, Jay Chris? Do you think Sudario could pull this one off, or do you think it's going to be Augusto that's going to do it?
I can only hope that if it is true that Sudario, you know, is the betting favorite, but unfortunately he's not the favorite according to Topology, I can only hope that he knows how to defend well. That's all I can say on that.
So you're rooting for Sudario then, right?
I'm not rooting for either fighter. I'm just hoping that it'll be an impressive bloodbath, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will because, like I said, Augusto, Pitbull Brothers camp, and as we saw in the Rumble Johnson fight, you know, he'll bring it. He'll bring it no matter what, and he's not afraid to go out on his shield. And it's I think it's gonna be a banger. I really do. I think it's gonna be a banger. And all those LFA bouts, were they finishes as well?
No, they were not.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me rephrase myself. Only one of those was, by technicality's sake, a finish. That was his most recent fight. That was Augusto's recent fight against Edivan Santos.
Okay. So, wait, what does Rising Will Thrive will say here? What would it say about sport in Japan? And you get Ueda, who lost to a 50-year-old Kosaka. What do you mean? That doesn't, dude. Who gives a fuck about the losses, bro? Come on. Nobody cares. I mean, if he wins the Grand Prix, he's going to say that he's freaking the best Japanese heavyweight right now. And then we'll see what he does against maybe Ryan Bader or somebody.
Come to think of it, there's a reason why they call it strength of schedule. A loss against Kosaka in Ueda's debut. I mean, in Sudario. No, wait, actually, what am I trying to say? I mean, you're saying that Kosaka is basically a good strength of schedule builder for Ueda? I mean, is that it? Because, yeah, if it means anything like that, it doesn't really mean anything worth a damn, because that was at the start of his career. He really
Exactly.
I mean, it really doesn't make anything or any amount of sense now, considering the fact that, hey, he's well and matured after that, and he's got the good record to show for it. It's like saying, going back about 15 years ago, Kevin Casey, who fought in the UFC and Bellator, because he lost to Manoa Man, he's not a good fighter.
Yeah. Or Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva got scrubbed up in the Almighty Pride FC. Remember Ryo Shonen doing that ninja leg scissor kick takedown, Mortal Kombat style, and a heel hook, just absolutely and made Anderson Silva tap out screaming. Or who's the guy that got Anderson by a triangle? Was it Takaze?
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is that Anderson Silva was scrubbed up and washed out in the Almighty Pride FC, and then went on to become one of the greatest UFC champions of all time, right? So you can't judge a fighter just by losses earlier in his career. I mean, Anderson Silva was like well established in his career when he was taking these losses, and then he went on to become a great UFC champion. Ueda taking that loss at the start of his career, that means nothing, dude. That means nothing. That was a learning experience for him. So, and this Grand Prix, if he wins it, it's just going to show. I mean, it makes the sport look incredible. This is a supreme tournament format. We don't know if this is going to be have a one night final or not, a one night Grand Prix final where they do the semifinals and finals in the same night, but it could be. It could be. So we'll have to see how that goes because, like we were saying earlier, they want the winner of this heavyweight Grand Prix to face possibly Ryan Bader on New Year's Eve. And all we know from Sakakibara on the CEO Epic Rising is that the winner of this heavyweight Grand Prix is going to face an established heavyweight with, I forget the exact word that he used, something about a established heavyweight with a convincing record or something like that, right? So it's obviously going to be a well-established heavyweight, and Ryan Bader fits that mold, right? Because he was Bellator heavyweight champion and also a UFC title contender. So that'd be a fantastic test for whoever wins this heavyweight Grand Prix right here. Mm-hmm. So if it's a J fighter like Ueda, the Japanese fighter like Ueda, that's going to be fantastic for the sport, especially in Japan. And just, man, it'll just be another star for them, another freaking star for them. And I just love how they're opening another division right here. It's fantastic. So, but getting back to this one with Sudario and Augusto, I mean, on the City Life Project podcast with Aisha, which I just did, recorded yesterday, it would probably drop in tomorrow or on Fight Day. Make sure you guys check that out. We thought that Augusto was going to be heavily favored. We thought Augusto was because he's a striker first, right? He's a striker, and Sudario just got knocked out by Ueda, which is a striker. So, we thought it was going to be a heavy favorite, and we thought that Sudario bit off more than he could chew by asking for and getting what he wanted, which is a good international fighter. So, I can't believe they got Star as a favorite here for the actual money odds, betting odds. So it's going to be real interesting to see. Maybe they saw something in Sudario in his training or something, or in his last fight, where maybe they like the way he looked. Maybe they don't like that Augusto is coming off of, I guess, a decision and then a finish, but maybe they don't like that he was a light heavyweight. He's going to be a smaller fighter, basically. Because let's see, they says they're both 6'3",
mm-hmm.
but it says Sudario has a longer reach. So Sudario is a natural heavyweight. And Augusto is probably a smaller heavyweight because he could cut down to 205 pounds. So that's probably why they're giving Sudario the edge right there. It's going to be real interesting to see if he can capitalize. So what does Rising Will Thrive say here? Is Ryan Bader known by the Japanese? Yes, dude. Again, the Japanese are one of the smartest fan bases in the entire sport. They're all hardcore. They all know about the Epic because from the Almighty Pride FC days. There's still a bunch of carryover. I don't care what anybody says. There's still fans that know about the Almighty Pride FC in Japan, especially. And it's just of course, they know who Ryan Bader is. Yes, they're educated fan base, and they know who he is. Just like they know what Chama is and who Poatan is. Come on.
And Andrew is saying, no, he isn't. Only one person who knows him is Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Forget these. Stop reading these trolling comments. No more posting the trolls. Only Rising Will Thrive. Ask real questions, and if Drew asks a real question. So, but yeah, this is going to be a banger, and I'm picking Augusto to win, but I'm impressed that Sudario is the favorite and the betting favorite in this one. So maybe he's going to win. Maybe he's going to do it. We'll see.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and continue on with the final heavyweight Grand Prix bout of at least this show, because there's only 3 of these fights on this show instead of the 4 that would have been a part of it because, of course, one of the competitors got injured. So, let's go ahead and talk about this first fight that's going to be shown to the masses on Sunday or Saturday, wherever you are in the world watching this. And that's going to be Marek Samoshiuk versus the American Predator Daniel James. For Samoshiuk, He's 5-3 overall in KSW, 7-4 overall as a professional mixed martial artist, representing Unique Fight Club, and I'm gonna fuck this up real bad by saying it. Ziki Washuld Biala Potlatska Fight Camp.
That was a good attempt.
Well,
that was a good attempt right there.
Polish is obviously not my strong suit, okay?
It's a difficult language, bro.
But though he's 28 years of age, born July 15th, 1996, fighting out of, again, here's the fuck up, Biala Podlatska, Poland.
That sounded right. I mean, you got his last name down, Pat, too. Better than I can do. I just call him Merrick.
Yeah, of course. Andrew was saying wrong camp again. Like,
well, what camp is it? Don't just sit there and bitch about getting the camp wrong because of Tapology. Tell us what the actual camp is, buddy.
If you're gonna basically talk to us like we're 5, get on the show, man.
Exactly, dude. Come on. Don't be a pussy. Get on the show. Come on.
Anyways, long story short, Marek is 6 feet tall, 261 pounds, and holds a 7-4 mixed martial arts record. Of course, 4 of his 7 wins come by way of knockout. In KSW, he has fought a former professional boxer in Uzakbay Ugno. I don't know if you know or care about him. I mean, he fought, I think, for Premier Boxing Champions at one point in time. And then he got his last 3 wins in succession, 2 of which by way of first and second round knockout, and then a decision win over Philippe Stalwarwi back at KSW 104 back on March the 8th. But aside from all of that, I don't know if you know this, Jay, but he is a former Voltore tournament winner. And shout out to Daniel Dzubecki, because he basically is not only a fan of Voltore, but was one of their biggest supporters when the whole damn thing started off. He won
he's English commentary for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
big shout out to Daniel Dzubecki. That he's in the Rising Discord with us as well. He's our Polish correspondent over there. And he went to the Epic Rising Azerbaijani event, and he's been to events in Japan too as well. Fantastic fan, great friend, and enjoy talking to him a lot. Big shout out to Daniel Dzubecki. That starts with a D Dzubecki. DD as we call him.
But yeah, the matter is, Marek Samochiuk holds a 4-1 record in Voltore bare knuckle MMA, where he won the one-night tournament there on January 18th, 2020 by finishing 3 opponents in succession, and beat Denis Zalechik at Voltore 2 on May 23rd, 2020, before losing to Michael Pasternak back at Voltore 3 on September 19th, 2020. So who knows? Maybe bare knuckle MMA might be the biggest and the best base for combating a tournament-style format, since he's used to this. His opponent, unfortunately, who's gotten a lot of media attention from myself, from Andrew, and from Combat Sports Today in particular, does not have tournament experience. But hey, he's from the Shy, and that's all I gotta say about that. It's the American Predator Jam, 43 years of age. He hopes to basically fight on his 44th birthday in the world title fight. Of course, that birth date being New Year's Eve. He was born on New Year's Eve, 1981. 15-7-1 overall, representing Midwest Training Center, fighting out of Schaumburg, Illinois. He's 6'6", 267 pounds, and he fought 4 times inside the Bellator cage, 6 times inside the cage of Absolute Championship Akhmat. Fought 3 times in the LFA, getting disqualified for illegal knees. And as we bear to mention, he fought once in the PFL. That was last April when he knocked out Marcelo Gom. But other than that, as I did talk with him, and the interview I had with Daniel James will hopefully be uploaded tomorrow or Saturday morning, as at the time of this being broadcast, we did have a little interesting conversation about him being, dominant in Russia. And basically, we had a lot more reality talking rather than just fighting. But the dude is more than ready to compete on this particular type of circuit. And he has not fought in Japan before, and he hopes that he can make the best out of it. But still, though, going back to the Ryzen Otori, going back to the Tapology community picks, 75% want to see a Daniel James knockout. And the odds are probably not really favoring Samuel Chiuk. So, in your honest opinion, Jay, do you think that Daniel James is going to run through this Weltore veteran easily?
No, not at all. And the actual odds are incredibly close. It's another one. Get this.
Mm-hmm.
Merrick they're both minus 120. It's an even fight according to the actual betting odds with money on it. Dude, that's incredible. They have both Daniel James and Merrick at minus 120. Even odds completely. This is incredible. And we were talking on the City Life Project podcast about how they're probably going to favor Daniel James more. And if Merrick was the underdog, he would be a very live underdog. Now, you know me, I always root for my American fighters, and I want Daniel James to win. But he's got a tough test here against Merrick. Like you said, Merrick he's got tournament experience, one-night tournament experience, and he's got, this obviously shows KSW collaboration is alive and strong. I know that's going to just eat it, Drew. The KSW collaboration is alive and strong, and he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. It's going to be a really big test for Daniel James. That's why the odds makers have it so even. And, shout out to you, Andrew. Both of you guys did interviews with Daniel James, the American Predator. And can you give us a little preview of your interview with Daniel James? Like, what was the stuff outside? No, don't tell us the whole thing. Just give us a little preview of what was some of the things you guys talked about besides the fights that you said are outside of there.
I mean, aside from that, he basically discussed with me about what it takes to become a fighter and, the type of endurance that people have to go through to be a fighter. But also, considering the fact that he's from Chicago and there's a lot of chaos going on over there, he basically talked to me about, some of these young kids, these young people trying to be Billy Badasses. They need to put down the guns and pick up the gloves, so to speak.
Oh, nice. So it has a nice uplifting message. That's fantastic. So everybody, that's going to be on Focus Fights and Focus Fights Audio. Make sure you guys check that out. Jay Krish interview with Daniel James. He said he's going to be dropping either tomorrow or Saturday. Make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be awesome. And Drew, even though he's trolling over here, he also did a fantastic interview with Daniel James, where he also talked about stuff outside of the ring. And one of his things that he talked about with Daniel James that we got to bring up here is that he was asking him his favorite Predator movie. Because Daniel James, his nickname is the American Predator. He's got the Predator tattooed on his chest. Walks out with a Predator emblem, too, a big old Predator chain emblem. And he was talking about his favorite Predator movies. And, of course, he listed the number one, the first Predator, is, that should be everybody's number one. That was the best Predator, probably one of the best movies of all time. And then he said, to be politically correct, he said that stupid movie Prey, that is so freaking overhyped. I'm so sick of people glazing that movie. That has some stupid little Indian girl could take up, or a Native American girl, whatever. Little Native American girl could take on a actual Predator. No freaking way, dude. No way. I cannot. That was like, dude, that was leave the female protagonist to aliens. Predators need to take on a male protagonist. There's no way a little girl can take on a Predator. Anyways, enough of that. He said that his favorite Predator was first one, which is the correct choice. So, and wait, what does Rising Will Thrive say here?
What if Daniel James said that his favorite Predator-affiliated media was To Catch a Predator? Oh my God, man!
That doesn't count as a Predator-affiliated media, buddy. Come on, we're talking about the Predator, one of the all-time great action movies in cinema history. Predator, one of the great monsters of cinema history. And that's the Predator we're talking about here.
But still, though, going back to the fight without basically laughing too much at my ass off, Daniel Dizubeki basically said, and I'll highlight Andrew's comment here, Daniel Dizubeki said that KSW did not send their best heavyweight over.
So what, okay, dude? What do you want to send over their champion? What if Phil DeFreeze is going to be? The Phil DeFreeze is their champion right now, and what if he and I should love from the City Life Project loves Phil DeFreeze, and we're hoping that eventually they can do a crossover heavyweight championship fight maybe in the future. But what you expect them to send over their champions right away? No, dude. This how is this guy a bad fighter? Merrick, he won a World Tour tournament. He's got a winning record in KSW. I mean, what the heck? What more do you want? You want him to send over their number one contender instead of having them face Phil DeFreeze for the KSW championship? No, come on, you guys, get real. This is a good quality heavyweight they sent over. Shows the collaboration is alive and well, exactly like they were talking about last year when they said that things were smoothed over with them. The CEO of KSW put out a tweet or X post, whatever you want to call it, saying that the collaboration was alive and well, and this is the fruits of it right here. It's a dangerous heavyweight. That's why the odds makers have it so close. And Daniel James hopefully brings his A game and gets it done because I want my American Fighter to win in advance in this.
Well, if you remember, Jay, they did send over Simone Bahor for the first heavyweight tournament back in 2016. And they sent over Goran Beljic in their first overall tournament back in 2015.
Yeah, but that was before the relationship soured with the Kleber situation, right? Because Kleber was their was he the KSW champion, if I remember correctly? And then yeah. So then that caused a little bit of rift when Kleber came over here to Japan to be with Satoshi and them, and so that rift has been repaired now, and now they're sending over guys again. And whatever, you guys can talk shit all you want and say he's mid, but the odds do not lie. The odds have it so close, it's a pick'em fight, and that just goes to show that this is gonna be a good bout, bro. This is gonna be a fantastic bout, and I can't wait for this one. I hope that Daniel James really brings it. I know he will. I know he will. And you know what else I want him to do? I want him to embrace the walkout. Like Drew, another great thing you said on your interview with Daniel James was talking about, for the walkout.
Wear the Predator mask.
Exactly. He's got the dreads already. Wear the Predator mask. Have some Predator sounds in the background for his walkout. Do his Predator song walkout rap song, and just imagine Lenny Hart belting out with the golden pipes saying, "Oh, the American Predator, Daniel." Dude, that would be incredible, dude. That'd be amazing. So hopefully he does something like that.
Yeah, hopefully so. And before we move on, Andrew said the CEO at KSW even said it doesn't make sense to send their best to possibly lose.
Okay. Well, and the collaboration is still going on and happening, and it's fucking awesome. So whatever. Die mad.
Now, we go from the epicness of the Rising Heavyweight Grand Prix to something that made me literally say, what the fuck is this?
Like, Which one?
You know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the David Goliath freak show fight?
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I love this one.
Yeah, the hero of foul play and not giving a fuck, Cena Karimian taking on the Emperor Koji Tanaka. Only in this case, it's it's not going to be kickboxing, because we all saw what happened on New Year's Eve. Homeboy tried to do a spinning back fist against Rukia Ampo and got penalized. It's basically going to be straight up boxing, which Koji Tanaka has done before. I mean, he's knocked out Jizzy Mack. He he defeated Jayhon Ingram, even though the bout was considered a draw or no contest in Dubai. I mean, I don't even know if I even want to care about this, but still, though, it's a fight. So might as well, right?
Awesome.
You're saying it's awesome?
Yes, this is a true freak show fight that everybody loves, and it's a good one. It's an actual David versus Goliath fight. And I wonder, is this the one that our friend Jim Ozeki from the one does the um, oh, what is it? Is it Yamata
The
Damashi?
Yamashi podcast with
Thank
Instant.
you. Yes, our friend Jim from the UK. He was hyping up there was going to be David versus Goliath fight that was in the works, and I'm wondering if this is it because this counts as David Goliath. Just look at the freaking face off for this one. I can't wait to see the weigh-ins for this. It's going to be incredible. Like the size difference is like crazy, like this, dude. It's incredible, and
Mhm.
and they're going to have different glove sizes.
Yes.
Koji's going to get to have the smaller gloves and Cena's going to have the big 12-ounce gloves, and it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see this one, and I would not recommend betting on this one. I don't even know if they have the odds for this one. I didn't even see that if there was
I mean,
actual odds for
if
this
they
one.
did have betting odds, this fight would probably be astronomical as far as, Karimian winning this one. But we all know, considering the fact that his last fight was not his last fight. His last fight was when he got embarrassed by Tomas Mosley at Glory 99 almost a month ago. But still,
There's no actual betting odds on this one because
dang,
the custom rules freak show fight, so that's fine. But I think
yeah,
it's going to be fun, bro. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and
but
I
still,
think. But go ahead, finish.
still though, you got a bad you. Oh, what am I trying to say? You got a battle of former K1 world champions. I don't even think that the modern K1, with all the problems they got in broadcasting shows internationally, would even see anything good about this.
Well, is Cena still under contract with K1? I know he just had a glory fight, right? And where he got he got in trouble for fouling again in that one.
Or I mean,
So
I
I
don't
mean,
think that K1 would even want to honor his contract anymore. I think Karimian's done with K1
well,
after
dude,
all.
freaking K1, they have the best format in combat sports. That's why they give him the crown for King K1. They have the real deal Holyfield 8-man one night Grand Prix, 3 full fights in one night. Nobody does it better. Nobody freaking does it better. And their only problem is their international distribution. Why will they not make it available? Is there still something going on with the rights? I know they were having a fight with that or whatever. Once that is done with, they need to do something like get on, join Ryzen.tv, broadcast their events on Ryzen.tv or something, or put them up free on YouTube. That's their only problem is their international distribution. So, anyways, getting back on this, Drew says he's still contracted to King K1. So hopefully this shows that there's a collaboration that's strong with Ryzen and King K1 because they got some they when they do the kickboxing fights they got King K1 guys and Crush guys that fight on the Ryzen ring. So maybe there's a good little collaboration, a little good cooperation going on there. Maybe we'll see them on Ryzen.tv someday. What's you saying right here? Also, this is not a David versus Goliath fight. It was Ampo versus Sudario. Okay, so that was the one that Jim was talking about. But this is a David and Goliath fight. This does count as David and Goliath fight, just based on the size difference alone. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And I wonder if do you think that Cena's going to be able to knock him out, or you think that Cody's going to be able to like dodge, duck and dodge and weave and get it done?
Anything if Cena Karimian knocks out Koji Tanaka, it's going to be expected because, of course, the size difference. I mean, let's face it, this bout's at 216 pounds, which is right around 98 kilos. I don't even think that Koji will probably eat any more than a few kilos or about 10 or 20 pounds just to get up to 154. I mean, he's probably going to have, I mean, if he does, he's going to look slow, sluggish, and tired. But still, though, point of the matter is, this fight is probably going to favor Koji more because Koji is the lighter fighter and he's had experience fighting bigger dudes before. So I won't be surprised if Koji wins this fight. But then again, why the fuck
Really?
care?
Nice, nice. I would love to see the David win the David versus Goliath fight, but Cody's not going to have a slingshot in this one. So I
Yeah.
mean, all
And
he's got is the smaller gloves. So
if any,
I don't think he's going to knock out Cena.
if anything, his slingshot better be a damn good haymaker.
I know, right? Get him like with the Street Fighter 2. Sure, you can uppercut.
Yeah. I mean, they allow a jumping uppercut at least once or twice in this fight. Otherwise, it's not worth watching.
That's gonna be that's sensational to watch, man. I can't wait. How
Mm.
are you not be hyped about this? It's gonna be awesome. And Cena, I mean, how's he gonna foul his way out of this one? He can't even get all the way down there to headbutt him on this one. So
He's probably going to just shove him off like the bully that he is.
well, he's gonna have gloves on, so he can't eye poke him. So I don't know how he's gonna do a foul on this. Maybe you think he's gonna throw a kick instead of forget it's just a boxing match.
He's not going to kick him. He's probably just going to toss him around like it's full-blown professional wrestling, you know?
So you think he's gonna throw him out of the ring or something? That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, and you know what else? They got to get the ref from the other Cena fight. Remember the one where the ref got hit with a Cena haymaker and was still standing there, still reffing the fight? The Iron Shin ref, I forget what his name is, but he was a star of that other freak show fight with Cena from New Year's Eve. So maybe they have the same ref, hopefully.
Oh,
And you said that the weight, because they have a weight limit on this fight, right? And so that was at 216 pounds? Or was it 205 pounds?
216 pounds as far as Cena goes. He can't go no higher than 98 kilos, 216 pounds. As far as Koji goes, I don't know. I don't really care. I just hope that he doesn't weigh in no heavier than 154.
Look at Rise and Will Thrive's question right here. Nice pro wrestling
Who's
question
the
here.
biggest heel in recent times, John Cena or Cena Karimian?
Oh, I'm going with Cena Karimian, because I mean I know John Cena just turned heel for WrestleMania, but Cena has been doing fouls and just have incredible. I mean, in multiple organizations, not only King K1 and the Epic Rising Fighting Federation, also Glory. Like I was just saying, his Glory bout just had his couple fouls in that one. It was the guy. That's what we're saying. How's he gonna foul in this one? He can't reach down to headbutt Cozy. He can't eye poke him with the gloves. So hey, Ryzen will thrive. What do you think the fouls are going to be in this one? How do you think Cena's going to be able to foul in this one? Is what Jay Chris predicted going to be correct? He's going to throw him out of the ring, pro wrestling style, or what? I think it's going to be fun though.
I really don't know, but what I do know is we're getting closer to the 2-hour mark, and I want to try and get this done sub 3, so to speak.
Oh, come on. Let's go 3. All right. Well, okay. Fine. We'll pass this freak show fight. I think Cena's going to win. But remember, if it goes to decision, it's a draw. So all Cody's got to do is survive, and it's a draw. It's not a loss. So Cena, to win, you got to knock somebody out in this one. And Cena, to me, is the only one that's going to be able to do that, unless we see some cozy Street Fighter 2 Shoryuken jumping uppercuts, which would be fucking sensational. So. Yeah, look. Drew says he wants us to keep going. Let's do it, Jay Krish. Then this one, is this on the card? Is this the one after? This right before the intermission or after the intermission?
It's right before the intermission.
Okay.
Daniel James will be the fight before the intermission.
Okay. So then let's give a little intermission predictions. What do you think is going to happen in the intermission? Do you think that they're going to bring out? I mean, I almost guarantee they'll bring out Peloton, maybe to say something to ring with Ed Polo King. Do you think they'll announce who their replacement is to face Sodakin at the June 14th heavyweight Grand Prix bout that's going to be on the landmark card on June 14th? And maybe that's what they'll be. Maybe it'll be announcements for the June 14th card because they haven't announced any bouts on that one yet. Maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll finish the card for Rising Korea. They'll probably have some guys from, that are going to be on the Rising Korea card be there to talk about that. And I'm hoping to see Peloton and Ed Polo King and who's going to be facing Sodakin for that at the Rising Landmark event on June 14th. So that's what I'd like to see. But what do you think is going to happen in the intermission?
I really don't know because it's always, something incredible to see something like that happen on a card like this. I just think that they're going to probably announce, what's going to happen at the Rising Landmark show and, maybe announce some more fights, probably for the Flyweight Grand Prix that's going to take place. And,
Oh, good one.
and
Nice.
uh, you know, let's go ahead and talk about the Flyweight Grand Prix and how this pertains to this particular fight. Makoto Shinryu Takahashi versus Yuki Ito. And yes, I'm saying his full name, Andrew, so please don't get pissy at me because his last name is that. But Yuki Ito versus Makoto Shinryu Takahashi. Shinryu is 18-4-1, the current Cage Fury World Champ, the current Deep World Champion. Fighting out of Miyagi, Japan, representing Ink Paresta Matsudo. I'm not sure if he represents that gym anymore. Oh, he fights out of Sendai, Miyagi, Japan. 5'5", 126 pounds, 24 years of age, born the 5th of July in the year 2000. 18-4-1 with one no contest. However, all of his wins, most of them anyways, 13 in total, have been by points, decisions. He's 4-3 in Rising. Well, 5-3 if you count the one fight that was a Bellator post-lim, but still though, point of the matter is that he has gone 2-3 in his last five. His most recent conquest was was a grappling bout against Eric Minigan at Breakthrough Combat 3, but we're not counting that. His most recent fight was a loss to Jose Shorty Torres at Rising 49 on New Year's Eve.
Razor thin loss.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that should have been a split as well.
Other than that, he's more known for fighting Kyoji Horiguchi and having the distinction as being a former Rising and Bellator flyweight title challenger. As far as Yuki Ito is concerned, he is 18-5 overall, 8-1 inside the Rising Fighting Federation, representing next Ichi Mui, fighting out of Aichi, Japan. 28 years old, born April 19th, 1997. He has a record of 18-5, with 8 of those 18 wins by way of knockout. 3 of those wins by way of submission. 8-1 in the Rising Fighting Federation. His lone loss was to Urson Badman Yamamoto, but he's currently riding a 5-fight winning streak with decision wins over Hiroya Kondo, Top Noi Lucky Left, Masatoshi Ueda, Jung Kyung Lee, and most recently back at Rising 50 over the Canadian Wildman Tony Laramie, who might get that call to fight in the Flyweight Grand Prix, as will probably Jose Torres as well. So when it comes down to these two, considering that it's a catchweight fight at 130 pounds, I mean, let's just say if this were for possible seeding in the Rising Flyweight Grand Prix, who do you think will get the better opportunity here?
Bro, that is exactly what it is. This is for to see how the bracket's going to shape, what the seeding is going to be for that Flyweight Grand Prix. Because I think both these guys are going to be in it. Like you said, Ito, he just put on a Fight of the Year candidate with Tony Laramie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sensational. I mean, if it wasn't for the Doubtback Chihiro bout that was also Fight of the Year candidate, that would have been the Fight of the Night, Fight of the Year candidate. But it was sensational. The point is, it was a sensational fight that Yuki Ito did with Tony Laramie, and they're both going to be in the fly. We're hoping that the Flyweight Grand Prix is going to be 16-man, and if it starts in July, think about it. Think about why, because they said it's supposed to start in July, right? Probably going to be on the Super Rising card in July, hopefully. And if that's when the kickoff is for the Flyweight Grand Prix at the Super Rising event in July, then think about they got that 16-man. Then they have plenty of time, 6 months till New Year's Eve. And if they obviously want to finish it at New Year's Eve. And to do that, they'll have to do 16-man in July. Then in August and September, they can do the round of 8, right, for the quarterfinals. And then for the finals, it'll be the one night Grand Prix finals, like the classic, Almighty Pride FC, the supreme tournament format, as I like to call it. And they'll have the one night Grand Prix finals on New Year's Eve, but with the flyweights. So that's why I think it'll be 16 man, because the math works for it to be a 16 man to have the one night Grand Prix final on New Year's Eve. So that's why I think that no matter who this, like you're saying, great point. This is for to see what the seeding is going to be for that flyweight Grand Prix, what the bracket's going to look like for that flyweight Grand Prix. And Shinryu, he's one of the top flyweights in Japan, and he's a young gun, not even 25 yet. And Ito is coming off a sensational Fight of the Year candidate, and he's 28, or was it 20? Yeah, 28. So he is also a young gun. Well, I guess that's like prime age right there, like grown man age. But anyways, the point is, both these fighters are in prime shape. This is going to be an absolute banger. And honestly, I think I'm gonna like Shinryu is he's really good. He's only lost his top competition, and like you said, with the Shorty Torres bout, that one was a razor close one that could have gone either way. I think that the judges were scared to give another like that whole time, the whole card. I think they didn't want to be perceived as doing a home cooking decision and give it to the Japanese fighter. That's what they gave. But you know what? It was a close fight, and Shorty Torres is a great fighter as well. So, and also that's another thing. Shorty Torres probably will be in the flyweight Grand Prix as well. He's also fighting in Brave as well right now, right? So there could be several different Brave fighters coming over for this flyweight Grand Prix to make a 16-man. Shorty Torres, Mokaev. It's going to be freaking. I hope you're right, Jay Chris. I hope that's what's going to be for the intermission on this one, and it makes sense. This is a big Tokyo Dome show. 50,000 plus in attendance. Who knows how many are going to be watching on pay-per-view. And remember, Sakakibara-san said the baseline for the pay-per-views, they usually score over 100,000 buys. And the New Year's Eve big shows, they score around 300,000 plus buys, right? So this is a big show. This could possibly be getting 300,000 plus pay-per-view buys, 50,000 plus in attendance. So, what better time to announce the flyweight Grand Prix and give us a little preview, especially when you got some fighters on this card that are going to be part of that flyweight Grand Prix. So that's a fantastic prediction by you, and I hope that happens. And for this bout right here, I'm leaning Shinryu. I got to be honest. I'm leaning Shinryu. I think he's a very skilled guy, very skilled fighter. He's learned some valuable lessons in all those opponents that beat him, Kyoji Horiguchi and all them, taught him some valuable lessons. He's got to shore up his grappling. And Ito is more of a striker, right? So I don't think he's got the grappling to compete with Shinryu on this one. Now you never know.
Shinryu might lose this fight, but Ito, no, you're saying that Shinryu might have a chance, but Ito, according to Tapology, 93% of that, 67% say that he wants to win via decision.
Ito?
Huh?
Did you say 67% say Ito's going to win by decision?
Yeah.
Wow. That's what the odds, the actual money odds say here?
What?
It says that he is. Oh wait, and there it is. Sorry. Ito is a plus 160 underdog, and Shinryu is a minus 210 favorite. So Shinryu is a slight favorite, and I bet you that's because of his grappling. I bet you that's because of his grappling, and Ito. And he's also, remember, Ito just coming off of an absolute war, Fight of the Year candidate, absolute war, having a quick turnaround, just like Chihiro. And Aisha from the City Life Project, I think that's going to be a factor with these fighters, such a quick turnaround. So, could maybe not. Both of them are young enough to where I don't think that'll affect them, but we'll see. Because they did take a lot of damage in those fights, right? And, we'll see how it goes, but I think Shinryu is grappling is going to be just a little bit too much for Ito. But again, also remember, we gotta take into factor the X factor here, which is our beloved superior rule set. That is an absolute game changer for any fight. And does Ito know the assignment? What if he rocks Shinryu? What if on the ground he throws some up kicks or something? What if he throws, you know what I mean? All kinds of the superior rule set is an absolute game changer. and it could change the outcome of this fight. So, and it's telling that the actual odds makers that have put money on this, they only have Shinryu as a slight favorite at minus 200. So, and Ito is only a slight underdog at plus 100 something. So again, this is a very live dog right here, and that's telling that Tapology thinks he's going to get it done. That means they think that his striking is going to be good enough to like rock Shinryu, and he'll probably finish it up with some superior rule set strikes. But that could very well happen. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think the odds makers got it right. I think Shinryu's grappling will be just too much. He's going to be able to catch Ito with something. If he can keep Ito on the ground. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, hopefully so. Now, let's go ahead and move away from flyweights for a bit to talk about this fight that's going to probably be, I wouldn't say a passing of the torch, more like a big-time showcase. And that showcase fight being Taisei Sakuraba, Saku Jr., in his second professional MMA outing against Die Hard Spirit, the 63-fight MMA veteran Daisuke Nakamura. As far as Daisuke Nakamura is concerned, he's been fighting probably as long as Saku Jr.'s been alive. 44 years on June the 10th, 1980. 34, 28, and 1. Fighting out of Yasukido, Honpo, and Tokyo, Japan, obviously. But let's just say the dude is known for submissions. A former UWFI competitor, a former shoot-style professional wrestler. I mean, a former deep lightweight world champion. I think a deep featherweight world champion, actually. My apologies. No, it actually former deep lightweight world champion, former Strikeforce competitor. I mean, I can go on and on, talk about how he basically has been fighting and what promotions he's been fighting in and who all he fought and what promotions. But still, though, dude's riding a 5-fight losing streak in mixed martial arts and hasn't fought in Rising in almost 3 years. I mean, yeah, the dude's an icon, but seriously, let's just say the dude basically is about ready to throw in the towel, so to speak, and hang up his Speedos. Anyway,
So obviously you think that Saku Jr. is gonna get the W here, as do I.
Let me go ahead and read his, let me go ahead and read his details. Taisei Sakuraba, Saku Jr., quintet veteran, 26 years of age, born November 12, 1998, fighting out of Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan, representing the Sakuraba familia, him and his daddy Kazushi, the legendary Kazushi Sakuraba. We all remember him back on New Year's Eve knocking out Yusuke Yachi in 26 seconds. I mean, I just gotta ask, and well, actually, Andrew is saying, one more wrong, Jim, and I'm setting fire to this. Andrew,
What did he say?
This is exactly what he said. The name of Daisuke Nakamura's Jim wrong.
Dude, Drew, take it up with Tapology. Go there. Why aren't you on Tapology, setting the record straight with all these gyms? Come on, you're slipping or you're slacking.
Yeah. Point of the matter is, talking about this fight here, Nakamura versus Saku Jr., 96% on Tapology are saying that this young man, even though he's only younger than me by like 5 years, by like 5.5 years, but still though, point of the matter is Saku Jr. gonna have to wreck somebody again?
I'm sure that's what they're hoping for. And I'm guessing that the reason they got this, like, they got him against a veteran that is a durable veteran, and he hasn't been finishing those losses, right?
I don't think he has. As a matter of fact, he only got finished in one of those 5. Actually, no, he's got finished in 3 of those 5 losses. 3 of those 6, actually.
Oh, but not recently, right?
Nope.
Okay. So he's a durable fighter, durable veteran, and what they want here, they want to see Sakuraba taken into the second and third round. They want to see what Sakuraba's made of, or I should say Saku Junior is made of here. They want to see what he's got. We want to see what he's made of, what he can do, and and that's what they want to do with Yachi. That's why they threw him into the fire right away with Yachi, and he passed that final exam, as Drew. I love that analogy Drew says when they do these kind of matchups. Drew calls it the final exam, and that's he passed that test, that final exam test with flying colors against Yachi. And what's he going to do here? They got him against a tough, durable veteran that is difficult to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see what Saku Jr. can do right here, and it's gonna be interesting to see. I cannot wait for this. And you know what's interesting? The odds makers, the actual money odds makers, this is way closer than I thought it was gonna be. They have Saku Jr. is only a minus 210 favorite.
Wow.
They got Nakamura at a plus 160 underdog. That is almost even. That's crazy? You know what that is? That's because they didn't see they don't know what Saku Jr. can do. They don't know, and they know that Nakamura is a tough veteran, like we're saying. So this is gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with this one. I'm really excited. And you know what else I want to see? I cannot wait. I love how Saku Jr. wears his dad's Sakuraba mask. I love how we get to hear Lenny Legend belt out Sakuraba's name over the. I mean, he has Sakuraba's classic walkout music as well. It's freaking awesome. And this is another rising star for the Epic Rising Fighting Federation. And if he pulls off another sensational victory and finishes Nakamura, dude, his star trajectory is a freaking rocket ship he's going to the moon right here with this. I mean, this is star making stuff right here, and Saku Jr. is clearly one of the rising stars of Japan, Japanese mixed martial arts, and the Epic Rising Fighting Federation. So I'm surprised the actual money odds are that close. That means they know that Nakamura is a durable veteran, and they don't know what Saku Jr. can do. So it's gonna be interesting to see. That's what I hope happens. I hope it goes past the first round and we really see what Sakuraba is made of, Saku Jr. is made of, and what he can do. And if he can get a finish over a tough veteran like this, man, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be, dude, his star power is gonna go. It's gonna go like a rocket ship, bro. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, I just hope for his sake that. I mean, I just hope that for Saku Jr.'s sake, the fight doesn't end. I mean, the fight doesn't turn into a laugher. You know,
it won't. It won't. I seriously doubt it will. I don't think any of these fights are going to turn into a laugher. I don't think they're going to be any of them are going to be UFC, PFL, wrestle fest, leg humping, cage stalling, corner stalling, whatever you want to call it. I seriously doubt that that'll happen because these are fantastic matchups, and the grapplers there's not really a striker versus grappler matchup, and the excellent grapplers they do have are matched up with other excellent grapplers to where that'll cancel out each other out, and we'll get there'll have to be some striking in there because the grappling will be too good to just lay on top, do some lay and pray UFC style, pussified rule set style.
Well, now that we basically got all of that out of our system, let's talk about a fight that'll probably set some dividing lines a bit. Let's talk about the Italian gangster in his own mind trying to think he can outshoot a former Olympic silver medalist. That being Danny Sabatello versus Shinobu Ota. Of course, when it comes down to this fight, we gotta basically talk about the details. Ota, the former Olympic silver medal wrestler, who probably has better wrestling skills in his middle finger than Danny Sabatello holding both middle fingers up, having his whole body. Still though, Ota, 31 years of age, born December 28, 1993. 2016 Olympic silver medalist, representing Paresta Kashiwa, fighting out of Gonoi, Aomori, Japan. He is 7-4 overall. 5 of those 7 wins come by way of finish. 4 of those 5 in the first round. And all 11 of his fights have taken place. Well, actually, no. 10 of his 11 fights have taken place inside the rising ring or cage. Of course, the one outlier of that was a submission win in Bellator, the bastardized version of Bellator against Roger Blanc back in the summer of last year. Other than that, he's had big time finishes over Kazuma Sone, Kenta Takizawa, Kazuma Kuromoto, Ryusei Ashizawa, and obviously the Roger Blanc win. But he's basically lost to the best. He lost twice to Yuki Motoya. The most recent of the two was at Rising 48. He lost to Shoko Sato, and he lost to Hideo Tokoro. And of course, Andrew is saying he fights out of Brave Gym under Kazuyuki Miyata. So there's that too. But still, though, as far as his opponent goes, let's just say he's yet to have been humbled. The Italian gangster in his own mind. By way of Chicago, Illinois, and Purdue University, he fights out of American Top Team Sunrise, Florida, USA. 32 years of age, born March 31st, 1993. He holds a professional MMA record of 14-4-1. 7 of those 14 bouts inside the Bellator cage. By the way, a former Dana White Contender Series victor, he also had that one draw most recently inside the PFL cage against Lazaro Dayron back on August 16th.
Which should have been a W for him. They were just corrupt PFL judges that didn't want to score takedowns.
Yeah, of course. The former Titan FC Bantamweight champion, he has 7 fights inside the Bellator cage, as I mentioned, but he lost twice to Rafian Superstar via decision. One of those
Split
fights.
decision. There were some close bouts that one of them should have gone Danny Sabatello's way, I thought, because they were again, they do this stupid thing where they won't score the takedown unless he does something with it. But that's bullshit, dude. If you get a takedown and you get top control, you're winning the fight. The takedown should score, and the top control should score. So I'm just, I know they're all against the grappling and trying to mitigate lay and prey stuff, but it's just you got to score takedowns. Come on. Anyways,
well, you want to know what I call bullshit? I basically call the fact that he say everybody that Sabatello is saying, oh, everybody's copying me. Everybody's trying to copy my swagger. And I said, that he basically had with Ryzen and Yoshihiro Sato, where he interviewed both him and Shinobu Ota, and basically Sabatello is acting like his shit don't stink. I mean, he got knocked out by Irvin Rivera in Titan FC. He lost to Rafian Stotts not once but twice, and he got choked out in his last trip to Japan against Tiger Magomedov back at the Bellator Rising 2 show on July 29th, 2023. So, yeah, basically him saying everybody's copying him, I think, to quote the immortal Iron Sheik, he said, what am I trying to say? To quote the Iron Sheik, he hasn't had his fucking back broken and made to be humbled yet. I think that if Sabatello is going to write a check that his ass can't cash, and I think that he will lose to Shinobu Ota. And yeah, that's
really
going against the grain because Tapology is saying that Sabatello's going to win 83%. You probably have betting odds that say that Sabatello's the favorite, but I don't think that Sabatello has been humbled yet. I think that he's going to realize that when it comes down to this particular fight, he is going to be made aware that some of these fighters, indies promotions like Ryzen are not like the competition he faced off against in Bellator or Titan FC or the Contender Series or even at Purdue University.
Or PF Fumble.
Yeah. Or even PFL. But still, though, Sabatello basically has an ego the size of my home state, which I'm in right now. And I think that ego is going to help him basically get his ass in trouble if he doesn't try and realize the situation he's going to be in against somebody who can throw hands, who happens to be an Olympic wrestler like Shinobu Ota. Now, go ahead.
Silver medalist wrestler, not just an Olympic wrestler. He medaled.
Yes.
Silver medalist.
But still, though, what do you got to say about this fight before we move on? Because I feel pissed of even talking about this ass clown.
What? Are you kidding? This is one of the best fights on the card. I absolutely love this bout. I love the Danny Sabatello signing. I love the trash talk that he brings and the brashness. I mean, it's all part of his act. Absolutely love it. That interview you're talking about with Sabatello and Ota on the what did they call it? It was on the Rising
YouTube channel, and I think it was the face-to-face chat.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Face-to-face interview or chat or whatever, right? So wait, Rise Drew's saying that Moldavsky wins. Oh good, Fader team got another win. Good. Hey Drew, how many decisions has that been so far? What's the count up to, buddy? Going into the Phil Davis fight. anyways, back to this one. This is absolute banger right here. I love it. This is on paper it's supposed to be a grappler's delight, right? I mean, and that Ryzen one-on-one interview that they did, that was Danny Sabatello was talking trash as he does. Loved it, and one of the things he said is that Ota is an Olympic silver medalist. He thinks he's the best wrestler in the whole Japan, but he's going to come and show him that no, Danny Sabatello's got the best wrestling in the game. So we're going to see. I mean, and he does have excellent grappling, and so does Ota. And I think that they're going to cancel each other out. Also, another thing about this one, Sabatello is not going to be able to just spam takedowns. Remember the X factor here, a beloved superior rule set. You cannot spam takedowns in the superior rule set of Epic Rising Fighting Federation because you will eat knees to the face. You will eat grounded kicks to the face. It's just you just cannot do it. So Danny Sabatello's got to be aware of that. He's got to be aware of that. And if either of these fighters get one another on the ground, I seriously do not see them being able to keep each other on the ground. Their grappling is too good. Their wrestling is too good, each of them, to just it's not going to be a lay and pray fight. There ain't no way it's going to be a lay and pray fight. And, under superior rule set, there's barely any of those anyways. So, if it does go to the ground, I want to see some 12-6 elbows. I want to see some Kevin the Monster Randleman, RP, Kevin the Monster Randleman skyscraper knees, where he kicks them up and just drops like a building on their heads. It just, man, those sensational Almighty Pride FC highlights. Want to see some of those type of grounded knees. And Ota, he knows the assignment. Even though he's a grappler, Olympic silver medalist, all that, he does have some superior rule set finishes on his resume, right? So he knows the assignment. So that's why I'm saying Danny Sabatello, he better understand the assignment as well. He cannot spam takedowns over and over again, and he's gonna eat a knee. He's gonna eat a knee, and he's gonna either get grounded kick or stomped out, which would be sensational for Ota. And another thing about this bout, why you should not just write it off or whatever and be excited about it. This could be an unofficial title eliminator bout. The winner of this bout could be fighting for the title next. I really believe that. I mean,
Sabatello both men did imply that they want to fight for the Rising Bantamweight title, but not have to jump through any hoops just to get to it.
Well, then they're gonna have to go put on this fight right here is their audition for that title fight. If either one of these men put on a sensational performance and get a finish, and they're getting a title shot. Let's put it that way. I almost guarantee it's going to happen. And also, I believe that they won't be able to do the ring version of wall install, which is ring corner stalling. I believe the refs are going to be on top of it for this type of fights. They're going to know these two fighters are grapplers. They're not going to just let them sit there and do ring corner stalling, and this have them just do the wall install in the ring. The refs going to be quick to break them up, and they're gonna make them see who's got the better striking. And I think Ota's got the better striking, and we're going to see how Danny Sabatello's striking is. And Ota, I give him the edge because, like I said, he's shown that he knows this. He knows the assignment. He understands how to utilize the Spear rule set. So, and let me just tell you what the odds say, which is very interesting. You said that the Tapology has Danny Sabatello as a heavy favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, get this. He's only a minus 300 favorite on the actual betting odds.
Really?
And Shinobu Oto is a plus 200 underdog. To me, that's another live underdog right there. I'm telling you guys, plus 200. If you want to throw, a couple bucks on Ota, that is a very live dog right there at plus 200. This is a more even fight than the odds say. I think the Ota is really dangerous, and I think their grappling is going to be able to cancel each other out. And so that's Danny Sabatello's strength, right? That's his strong suit. This is grappling, and obviously he's going to try. Because that's what he's talking about in that one-on-one interview. Everybody go check that out on the Rising YouTube channel. It's fantastic. That was Sabatello's trash talking, Ota's trash talking back. It was great. So, and on that, he said he's going to prove that he's a better wrestler than Ota, even though Ota's an Olympic silver medalist. So if he tries to do that, I'm telling you guys, we could see some superior rule. He might eat a grounded knee and then get Sara kicked out. I mean, it could happen. So I think it's going to be really. I just can't wait for this one. And I'm rooting for my American fighter, Danny Sabatello. So I'm hoping that he wins and knows the assignment. But
of course you are, because I know.
Oh yeah. So, and I think his path to victory will be, a submission basically. I don't think he's going to be able to outstrike Ota. But what if he does? What if he shows us tricks in his bag we didn't know he had, like striking? I mean, he was starting to utilize elbows a little bit, right? So, and now he's got the freedom to use 12-6 elbows. I'm just saying, hey, the superior rule set's a game changer, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm hyped for this one. And the winner with an impressive performance is going to be fighting for that bantamweight title next, 100%.
Now, when it comes down to the amount of time we got on this show, I mean, like I said, I want to at least get to the sub 3-hour mark so I can have this shit up as a podcast.
Sure. Well, there's only a couple more fights that we need to spend a lot of time on, anyways. I mean, the prelims, the kickboxing fights, we can just breeze through. I mean,
well, actually, I want to talk about the flyweight fights a la carte as a whole.
I'm sure. I think I know the one you're talking about is going to be next. Is it with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
No, actually, yeah. But let's talk about all 4 flyweight bouts in total, because these 8 fighters might make up. I mean, if they do, they might make up the flyweight Grand Prix.
That is, we already established that's 100% what it's going to be. You're absolutely correct. These fights are for the seeding of what the bracket's going to be.
Mm-hmm. In these flyweight Grand Prix preview bouts, you will see Hiroya Kondo versus Tatsuki Shinosuke. Keep in mind, Hiroya's the veteran, obviously 10-13. Tatsuki is coming in to his debut. John Dodson squares off in a rematch against Takaki Soya. Dodson, the current BKFC flyweight champion and former 2-time UFC flyweight title challenger, versus Soya, looking for an abstract of revenge from losing that BKFC bout at Super Rising 3 last summer.
Which is a very close one, remember?
Mm-hmm. Urson Batman Yamamoto returns to take on former K1 standout Daichi Tomizawa. And to kick off the show, Joe Hiromoto, Ren's baby brother, takes on former Rise kickboxing world champion Toki Tamaru. Now, considering the fact that these fights are talked about a la carte and not separately, I just gotta ask, which one do you think will probably excite the most as far as fan interest?
Oh, without question, a John Dodson bout. But we'll go through the other ones real quick to so we breeze through them. Yamamoto and Tomizawa, that's another one to pay attention to. Yamamoto's probably got that's good. I think that might be a good wrestler versus grappler versus striker classic matchup on that one because Yamamoto, he does have a good wrestling background. So of course, with his mom and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out if he can, implement his wrestling in those Superior Rules set. But like I said, the Superior Rules is a game changer, so Tomizawa might do that. And then Joe Hiramoto, obviously the brother of Ren Hiramoto. He's facing a good fighter as well. Isn't the fighter he's facing tomorrow? Isn't it a kickboxing crossover or no?
Yeah, it's a
okay. So it's
crossover, and he'll be making his MMA debut as well.
Yeah, and kickboxing crossovers have done really well in a Superior Rules set. So Joe Hiramoto is going to have to bring it, and with an impressive performance, I definitely could see him being a part of the Flyweight Grand Prix as well. So that and we'll see how that goes. And let me give you the odds for those ones real quick here.
Okay.
The Urson Yamamoto and Tomizawa bout. Look at this one. Another even one. Yamamoto minus 125. Tomizawa minus 115. I mean, that's a pretty much dead even split there. And let's see the Joe Hiramoto odds here real quick for you. Where is that one?
Okay.
Here it is. Okay. Oh, look at this. Joe Hiramoto is a plus 120 underdog. Tamero is a minus 160 favorite for a debut. Wow, dude. That Joe Hiramoto, another live underdog right there. That's a live dog. Joe Hiramoto has the actual he only has a couple fights in MMA, but he does have MMA experience. And whereas Tamero does not. This is his debut in MMA. I mean, to me, that means Hiramoto is a live dog right there. That's gonna be interesting. But let's get to the main one here that I want to spend more time on than these two.
What about the Shinotsuka versus Kondo fight?
Shinotsuka versus Kondo. Let me see here. Is that flyweight as well?
Yes, that's flyweight.
Oh, okay. That is, actually, I'll spend a little bit of time on that one as well. Let me give you the actual odds that they have for that one. Shinotsuka is a plus 130 underdog. Wow. Kondo is a minus 170 favorite. Another nice even fight on the odds. Fantastic matchmaking.
I think they just buttering that one up because Kondo is under 500. He's 10-13-1.
Okay, but Shinotsuka, he was doing a bare knuckle fight, right?
I remember he did a bare knuckle fight against Justin Martinez at Ryzen. Let me check. Ryzen 46 back last April, and he knocked out Noda Aoi in the open finger glove kickboxing bout on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and he's part of the Black Rose team, which is Ren Hiramoto's team, right? Yes, yeah. So he's a Black Rose fighter, pretty popular in Japan, and he's doing the BKFC collaboration. Remember, he was supposed to be fighting over. He got injured before he was supposed to fly to the States here and fight in Knuckle Mania in LA. I was going to go to that one, but he got injured. He got pulled off from the car and everything. So, but anyways, it just shows maybe that could happen as well in the future here. If he loses this or if he wins this, maybe he could be doing another BKFC collaboration.
And what for the Dotson Sawyer fight again?
Okay, yeah. So that Shinotsuka that's the one to pay attention to as well. But now we get to the this is the one right here to pay. John Dotson, as you said, current BKFC flyweight champion. This is not an actual rematch because it is, but the first fight was under BKFC rules, like you're saying, which is a very close fight. If not for Dotson scoring some early knockdowns and getting some 10-8 rounds, he would have lost that bout. It was making a fantastic comeback. Hold on a second. Let me get to where that bout is. Darn it. Scroll past it too much looking for the other ones. There it is. Soya was making a fantastic comeback in the later rounds. And, if he would have scored a knockdown in those last two rounds, he would have won. It was that close. So that's why they're doing a rematch right here in the mixed martial arts rules. And John Dotson, I was calling him Ninja Turtle because he walks out in a Ninja Turtle outfit. He has a Ninja Turtle walkout. Hope he does that again here. Love me. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is probably, as I'm sure Dotson, he's about the same age as me, a little bit younger, but he obviously was a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. and just I love it. So I love his walkouts, and hope he does it again. But I'm telling you guys, I'm so excited for this one. To me, right here, I mean Dotson, if he wins this, dude, there's no way he's not going to be part of the Flyweight Grand Prix. Guaranteed, he's going to be in the Flyweight Grand Prix.
And
Dotson is.
he will, but what are the betting odds for that?
Oh, sorry, the betting odds. Yeah. Let me get there real quick here. They are. Oh, they got Dotson at a minus 300 favorite, and Soya is a plus 200 underdog. Pretty even. That just like with the Sabatella Ota bout. That's without being a pick'em fight, that's pretty even. And they're doing that because Dotson, beat Soya and BKFC, but they're not giving Soya enough credit for making that bout as close as it was. So this is Soya's revenge fight or avenging fight right here. We're gonna avenge that loss in BKFC, and Dotson. This is his time to shine right here and get that and take that spot for the Flyweight Grand Prix in July. And I think it's gonna be a sensational bout. I cannot wait to see it. And man, I just hope Dotson wins in sensational fashion, and he does the full. I mean, talking about with the walkout and everything, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume, does a sensational, hopefully superior rule set finish, and just punches his ticket to that Flyweight Grand Prix. It's gonna be sensational, and keeps the BKFC collaboration alive. Complete. I mean, it's just it's freaking awesome. All around awesome. Love it.
Oh yeah, of course. And now that leaves us, as far as the main card goes, to talk about one more fight that I'm pretty sure neither one of us would have had any interest in, except for the fact that now you have an element of a pissed off employer. And that former K1 World Grand Prix winner Tayo Asahisa takes on former or soon to be former Fuji TV employee Yoshihisa Uza Strong Uzatsuyo. I mean, first of all, let me go ahead and get the. Oh, well, actually, no. I don't even know if I even got the full records for these fighters. I mean, all I got is the particulars. But as far as the particulars go, Tayo Asahisa, age 27, born January 16, 1998, the karate android from Ukiha, Fukuoka, Japan. His professional kickboxing record, 20 wins, 9 losses, 4 of those wins by way of knockout. He's a black belt in Asahisa Karate. And, of course, he is a former K1 Japan lightweight champion. Now, as far as his opponent goes, Yoshihisa Uzatsuyo. No, wait, actually, Yoshia Uzastrong Uzatsuyo. Let's see here. He is 28 years old, born October 15, 1996, representing Tessai Gym and fighting out of Setagaya, Tokyo, Japan. As far as his professional kickboxing record goes, he is 4-3 with 1 draw. He is 4-3 with 1 draw. And his last Ryzen fight was back at Ryzen 11 back on July 29th, 2018, when he lost to Koji, I think. No, wait, actually, let me go ahead and check that. He lost to Kaito Ono, actually, at Ryzen 11 back on July 29th, 2018. And he lost to Taiju Shiratori at Heisei's last Yorinoka back on December 30th, 2018. But get this. He's basically not going to be fighting this without, what am I trying to say? He's not fighting this without punishment, so to speak. Because if he fights this fight, he's probably going to get fired by Fuji TV in the morning, no matter if he wins or loses, because Fuji TV is upset at him for even taking this damn fight. Now, when it comes down to this fight, I know you don't care about the betting odds for this because they're not putting this over on the betting odds or anywhere else.
They actually do have odds for this one.
Really?
This is the only one that's lopsided on the whole fight. They got Asahisa. They got him at minus 1,000 favorite.
Wow.
And Uza Strong is a plus 550 underdog. So
damn.
That's the only one that is lopsided on the official odds. Everything else is pretty much even, or just a slight favorite and a slight underdog. Everything else is just fantastic matchmaking up and down this card. This is the only one that the odds makers with actual money on it has as a lopsided contest right here. So
damn, that is just crazy, dude.
So hopefully Uza Strong has some kind of safety net because he's going to get fired from Fuji TV. Then hopefully he has a safety net where he's going to get called back for taking this fight against such a dangerous opponent and get some more fights out of this. And hopefully Fuji TV comes to realization that they're doing terrible on New Year's Eve ratings now without the Epic Rising. So maybe this will be if they need to get rid of the CEO that's anti-combat sports and bring back somebody that appreciates the combat sports that like the Japanese people and bring the Epic Rising back. And maybe when that happens, this guy will be Uza Strong will be part of the catalyst to get them back on Fuji TV. Maybe, who knows? Oh, and look at Drew's crying about this being a mismatch. Are you kidding me? You're sitting there hyping up the PFL, which is Mismatch City on PFL. You're sitting there crying about a single mismatch on this card? Get the heck out of here, Drew. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow. But then again, he's not lying with the betting odds being that lopsided.
Yeah, but it's the only one that's like that. So, and it makes sense because I can't get his name right for some reason. Asahisa, excuse me. Geez.
You know what? Call him Tayo.
Tayo, okay. Tayo was a King K1 champion. So, I mean, that's a tough test for anybody. And, Uza Strong is, he's taking a big risk here. So hopefully he's got something, in the works. Is this the feature prelim on the bout order too?
Actually, this fight will be taking place third on the main card.
Oh, okay. So it's not. So I thought the prelims had 2 kick bouts and one 2-round mixed martial arts bout.
Actually, the prelims, and we will not go over them in full. I'll just say what they are. Daichi Akihira versus Futa Hashimoto. That's the one kickboxing bout. That'll be at 126 pounds, 57.5 kilos. The other 2 bouts, Takao Ueda versus Vinicius Silvelia. Vinicius Tsuchihashi Silvelia, by the way. And Hiro Sasaki versus Yuga Nakaya. Those will be 2 5-minute round MMA bouts.
Wait, what was the other one? What was the third one?
Hiro Sasaki versus YUGA Yuga Nakaya. The Ueda versus Vinicius bout will be at 66 kilos or 145 pounds. The Sasaki versus Nakaya fight will be at 165 pounds or 75 kilos.
Dude, they don't even have the Nakaya fight on Tapology.
Damn. I guess they basically are some lazy fucks.
They are. They got the gyms wrong. They only have the kickboxing bout you talked about and the Vinicius Ueda fight. They don't have the other one. That's crazy.
That is
crazy. Tapology. What are you guys doing, dude? Come on, man. Get it together. What the heck? So here, let me get the odds for those ones real quick here.
Are you sure you want to get the odds for the prelim fights?
Oh yeah, forget it. Let's just move on. Do they even have odds? Let me see if they even have odds here.
And
Andrew, they have odds. They don't even have odds. Okay, yeah, there's no even odds for them. Drew, dude, we have to use Tapology because SureDog, fuck SureDog for shit canning the founder of SureDog. You can't do that and expect fan loyalty to do that. Jeff Sherwood was shit canned wrongfully, shit canned from the SureDog, the site that he founded or co-founded, whatever. You can't do that and expect fan loyalty. No way. So we have to use Tapology. Instead of bitching about it, why don't you bitch about it to them to fix it and get with the program here on Tapology? This is the number 2 or number 3 promotion worldwide. Arby's number 2 money wise because they're blowing away PFL. Well, on attendance, on pay-per-view, PFL cannot do a pay-per-view, even a successful pay-per-view. Even with Ngannou, they couldn't do a successful pay-per-view. They had some pitiful. They couldn't even get 50,000 buys with freaking Francis Ngannou, the actual lineal heavyweight champion. How pathetic is that? Pathetic FL is what they should be called. So the Epic Rising is number 2 promotion in the entire world monetarily. So, dude, the freaking Tapology is get with the program here.
Well, and basically saying just use knowledge. Your predictions are what matter. And Rising.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Yes, our predictions are what matter.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, if they didn't, why the hell would I even be doing this show?
Yeah, no, this is a lot of fun. I think we should wrap it up. When we hit the 2-hour 45-minute mark, then we get well under your 3-hour time limit here. So
let's make sense because I basically want to not. I mean, I don't want to say that you draw on too long, but
dude, hey, again, when you love something, it's easy to talk about it, and I could go on for hours about this. I absolutely love the Epic Rising Fighting Federation, and our beloved Superior Rule Set is just there's nothing better in this sport. It is the absolute pinnacle. That's the absolute peak. The peak of this sport is the Superior Rule Set, the Epic Rising. It's an upgrade even over the Almighty Pride FC Superior Rule Set. I mean, we got all elbows in this now. Dude, it's just there is nothing better in the entire sport, and I love it. And I can talk about it for hours. So that's. I mean, it's just when you love something, it's easy to do. So that's how it goes.
Of course, I agree with you. And as far as the podcast is concerned, I mean, before I basically tell you to shoot your plugs, I mean, I basically want to say that again, you can listen to this on whatever podcast platform you frequent. Our home podcast platform just so happens to be Spotify. We hope y'all can check us out there. But other than that, you can check out what we have in store over for Focus Fights in our Linktree URL in the description below if you're listening to this on audio. I mean, I can't really do shit about the video version right now because we basically did this out on a whim. And of course, just wanted to basically give this again one more time so that I can put it over. Rising Otoko Matsuri will be taking place this Sunday, May 4th or May 3rd, wherever you are in the country, in the United States of America or Canada for that matter. It'll be taking place at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. The prelims will air first on the Rising FF YouTube channel at 10:45 p.m. Eastern, 7:45 p.m. Pacific. You can check out the pay-per-view on Rising.tv. It costs $20. And if you basically check that out, you'll be enjoying some of the greatest action known to man. I mean, it is called the Man's Festival after all. Enjoying something epic. Jay Wolf, where can they find you at?
Yes, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. You can find me at on Twitter. I still have not changed my name yet. I kept it the same as it's always been since way back. I'll change it eventually and correct the spelling, but it's JAYYOLF1 on Twitter X. And if you follow me and you're a real person, I follow back immediately as soon as I see that you followed me. And then on Discord channel, the Rising FF Discord, join that. It's a lot of fun in there. I like it more than even Twitter because it's not public. You can do anything. You can say it. You can talk shit. You can troll. You can do whatever you want in there. Just don't post illegal links and don't say any kind of racial slurs or anything. And that's the only 2 rules we got. Anything goes in there. It's the wild, wild west. You can do whatever you want in there. And it's just a lot of fun. And we watch the fights live. So join us in there. I'm at J Wolf on there. And then also right here on Focus Fights. Love these previews, Jay Krish. Make sure you go check out Jay Krish's channel. Check out that Daniel James interview is going to be dropping. And like and subscribe right here to this channel right here on the YouTube Focus Fights YouTube and check out all the Focus Fights link and subscribe all there. That's freaking awesome. And also shout out to the We Are Rising podcast and the other listeners that were listening. Rising Will Thrive and all of them that were listening to this. Fantastic. And also, I did a nice preview with Aisha from the City Life Project. Make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be dropping either tomorrow or Saturday probably. So check that out. It's a fantastic preview. Aisha, he does fantastic notes and just incredible synopsises for each fight. Just gives a great background information, everything. And it's a shorter form interview. Like this is a nice long form where we go in depth to each fight. Joe Rogan style, 3 hours long. Fantastic. So much fun, Jay Chris. I absolutely love doing this with you. So appreciate you doing that, brother. So, and then, so the right here, Focus Fights at JAYYOLF1 on Twitter and Jay Wolf on Discord. And then the We're Rising podcast and then the City Life Project podcast with Aisha. And he's also on the Discord and on Twitter. And then let's give a shout out to let's give a shout out to the Combat Sports Today fam.
You already have
it ready.
Yeah, they also did an interview with Daniel James, and I hope everybody can check that out as well.
Yes, that absolutely love the Combat Sports Today fans. The fam at Combat Sports Today. They just, to me, they're the best. I'm calling mainstream media. They're the best mainstream media out there right now. They give coverage, fantastic coverage of the Epic Rising. They better than probably anybody else does except for us. They're just fantastic. So everybody go check them out, follow them, look at their interviews, all that good stuff. And,
well, Jay, to be honest, they do it a lot more daily than we do. I mean, we do this as a hobby. They do it like it's a challenge.
I know, right, dude? And remember, they actually were asking questions about last year when what I like to call the rematch with Chihiro Suzuki and Patricio Pound Pitbull. They were the only ones in the media that were actually asking questions about it. And just, that was so impressive to me. I just absolutely love that. And, and I can't speak highly enough about it. It's not just because they follow me. It's because they're a fantastic combat sports news company. And just, they're to me, they're the best mainstream media that's out there. So they're fantastic. Shout out to them as well. But again, shout out to us right here. This is freaking awesome. Like I said, this is going to be a fantastic show. The Rising Men's Festival, no pussies allowed, superior rule set action only. This is going to be freaking awesome. And just, don't be a broke ass. Actually go to rising.tv and get that pay-per-view. It comes with full replay. So you don't have to, bitch and moan about having to stay up late. It's going to be start Saturday night and go into the wee hours of the morning on Sunday morning. So, and I know it's tough to stay up, but it's actually easy because the action is so action packed that it'll keep you awake, keep your adrenaline going. It's so much fun, and I just love watching it with you. And thank you for having me on here again, Jay Chris. Just so great doing these shows with you. Are we gonna do a review show again this time?
Hopefully so.
Okay, yeah. So everybody check that out. Thank you for listening, and check out the review shows coming sometime next week, hopefully. And yeah, and do you have the Lane Legend outro as we always like to do?
Yes, but first let me go ahead and say I'm, fortunate and blessed to basically still be doing this podcast. But I want y'all to help it grow. I want you, damn it, you, the listener, or you, the watcher, the viewer, to basically help this grow. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review if you're listening to this on audio form. Be sure to share this out to the masses if you're watching it on video form. But be sure to do that. I say that because if we basically get more growth just by y'all sharing or y'all basically giving us a good 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts, it'll help make the algorithm grow in our favor. It'll help us basically get noticed so we wouldn't have to be hustling for interviews. It'll help us basically get to where we want to go, and that's so that we can somehow, some way boost up operations at Focus Fights so that it wouldn't just be me and maybe the help of a few others trying to get things going. But other than that, like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, like Jay said, and like I will basically allude to, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. If you haven't checked out what we have in store, I will update the video version, but the audio version, you know damn well to check the description of this show and where you can find us at. And as far as, once again, it bears repeating, the Rising Otoko Matsuri Men's Festival taking place this Saturday night. To hell with all the boxing taking place this weekend and the forgettable UFC card in Des Moines. This is where you want to be watching.
That's right. You do not want to miss this one. Ryzen 50 kicked off this year for the Epic Ryzen, and it was a fantastic show. 2 Fight of the Year candidates, superior rule set galore. It was awesome. It was absolutely insane. It put the Epic. It showed why we call it the Epic Ryzen. And this show right here, the Men's Festival, is going to do this. Otoko Matsuri is going to do the same thing. And it's just banger after banger, and it's the Tokyo Dome's going to be massive, 50,000 plus fans. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be an actual incredible night. You don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be fun.
Yes, exactly. Midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific for the main card on pay-per-view. Get your $20 ticket right now on Ryzen.tv. But for the freebies, check them out. 10:45 Eastern, 7:45 Pacific on the Ryzen Fighting Federation YouTube channel. Other than that, we hope that y'all enjoy Rising Otoko Matsuri, and we thank y'all for basically joining us on this podcast, whether you commented on us or whether you just came by to troll. Other than that, for J Wolf, I have been the Chillmeister J. Christian Gary. You can follow me in the links in the description because I'm too damn tired and I don't want to run through my voice trying to run through them all. And until the next time we hear from y'all again, like the great Lenny Hart always likes to say,
Pride never die. Pride has risen. Peace.
And we out. Till next time.